What's going on, y'all? Sorry, forgot stuff downstairs. I forgot stuff downstairs. Bat Cave Delaney, how's it going? Also, I look at all those subs in my landscape chat. I am loving it. Ogden, Feisty, Whiskey, VJ, what's going on? Ogden, Shay, Alan, Pace, and Beautiful Quit. I see you guys over there in the portrait live too. What's going on? Everybody coming in, hanging out this morning. Oh. I look tired. I'm not super tired. I slept okay last night. I guess it was fine. I was at watching my daughter perform at the football game last night. So I was up a little later than normal, I guess. So then I was very get up and go this morning. A lot of moving parts this morning. I'm doing okay. I was kind of rushing this morning, you know. That's okay. We're still here. I really think is what it is my back. My back is killing me, and I know why too. I know why. My back is killing me because my freaking. I went out playing tennis. I played tennis with my daughter on Wednesdays, and she's getting better, and I'm getting older, all at the same time. She's getting better, and I'm getting older. So I'm like running around trying to keep up with her. And man, I tell you what. My back is making me pay for it. I'm like trying to cut. What's up, RJ? I'm trying to cut and move and get to balls, and I'm like, goodness. So your daughter plays football? No, my daughter doesn't play football. My daughter's in the color guard, and they perform at the football games. And so I was at the football game to watch her perform. So, no. Ian says, I coughed and hurt my back. I feel that. VJ, what do you mean? Dude, you're not that old. Wait till you get in your 40s. That's 15 months away. Is this going to get worse in 15 months? Because if this is going to get worse in 15 months, then just take me now, dude. What are you talking? The ER doctor says I have the back of a 6-year-old man. So I'm just ahead of the game. Okay? I'm just ahead of the game. That's all it is. Bad Kate wants to know how many streams I have going. I have 4 technically. Yeah, I have 4 technically. I have TikTok. Everybody on TikTok say hi. Let's get some highs in the TikTok chat. And then I have Twitch going, which of course you know that because you're on it. And then I have actually 2 going on YouTube. I have one that looks like the Twitch chat, and one that looks like Twitch, and then one that looks like TikTok. So I have a portrait and a landscape live going on over there.
It's insane.
So, yeah. So there's your answer. I have 4. I have 4 going on. I have 4 going on. So, I thought about adding a 5th, but I'm not real sure about that yet. And each one is different. Each one is different. Like if you go to like, especially when we talk about the chat, each one is different, right? So the TikTok one, that's my OGs. Okay, that's my day ones over there. Okay, they're the ones who've been with me for like 2 years. Okay. The Twitch is the newest one. That hasn't been running very long at all. And the YouTube is the biggest growing one. And you'll see 2 different sides of it, right? The portrait one is definitely the wildest one. Okay, like it's definitely the craziest chat, wild, off the, going crazy. The landscape one is a lot more calm, and it's a lot more members. Because that one doesn't get pushed out to the algorithm as much. So, yeah, exactly. Hologram, exactly. This is what happens. So I switched from the portrait mode on YouTube to this one because the chat over there is actually insane. Yes, you are 100% correct. The chat over there is actually insane. Okay. like truly and actually insane. Like truly and actually insane. That's what's crazy. Yeah. So, anyways, it's fun. Megan says, "Bet you missed." I'm sorry, new phone. Who this? Sorry, do I know a Megan? Sorry, not real sure. Can we get L's in the chat for Megan? Can we get lots of L's in the chat for Megan? Hi, Megan. Thanks for being here. And Jay Lee, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Said trying to get through the dumpsters, most of them while they can only do what they're told from my Trump. 100%. Just trying to get through them. Trying to get through them. Can we get W's in the chat for Jay Lee for the actual real first super chat of the day? All right. Because that first one, I don't think that first one actually counts. All right. W's in the chat for Jay. I appreciate that, Jay. Thank you so much. All right, we're about to get this thing started, getting this thing moving. You guys know how we do it over here. We have conversations and banter. We talk to people that still somehow support Trump. Not really sure how that's still a thing, but hey, welcome to 2025. I don't know why. So we're about to open up the phone lines. We do have someone in the TikTok chat that wanted to come up. They left. So never mind. I had someone up there that was whining about me not bringing them up, and but see, patience is not something that they teach you in Magaland. Okay, patience is something they don't teach you. All right. Patience is something they don't teach you. They don't teach you in Magaland. So as I'm trying to, just start my live and get things going, they're like, "You need to bring me up right now. I'm important." You're not important. You're not important. All right, let's open up these phone lines. Get this thing going. I really appreciate that. I know, right, Batcave? Can't even wait a few minutes over here. Can't even wait a few minutes over here. If you guys would like to support the live, remember I do have super chats open, members.
It's insane.
Members and subscribers open. I know we have that new super fan thing in TikTok. I'm really not sure how that works yet, but that's the thing. Also, if you're in the Twitch, and you have Amazon Prime, you can get a free sub that way, which is pretty cool. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. How old are you?
23.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Not this past year, no. I wouldn't say this past year, no.
Well, that would be still supporting him. If you don't support him now, that means you're making good decisions, which is awesome.
Well,
but then I don't really have much to talk to you about.
No, well, it's because I just don't support Israel.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? If that's your reason, that was cool. If that's your reason for not supporting Trump, then I'm totally fine with that. Okay. I think that, maybe, all the other crazy, horrible things he's doing should probably come first. But hey, whatever floats your boat, man. All right. But
well, man. Hello.
Hi. But again, I'm gonna move on to somebody because I am looking for people that still support Trump. Oh, all right, you're just gonna hang up. I was trying to be polite there. Guess we'll move on to the next caller. Draga, thank you so much for the second super chat over there. I appreciate that. It said, did you see Lucas on Pierce Morgan? No, I do not. Did not. No. So, Miss Chivas, thank you so much for the subscription. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that tier 1 subscription. I appreciate that. Hello, how are you? Hello? Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just calling. I saw your show on.
Yeah, so we are live right now. How old are you?
39.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
It's insane.
Actually, no. I used to be a big Trump supporter, but the whole thing, everything that's going on, probably not so much anymore. I've been listening to a lot of other people talk about him and how he might be involved with Israel and stuff. I don't know for sure, but honestly, everything is just not making sense anymore.
Oh, sorry. Well, first of all, again, if you're not supporting Trump anymore, I agree with it. It means that you're making some good decisions over here. But making sense, it all makes complete sense. Okay. This is exactly what Donald Trump said he was going to do. Okay.
That is true. That is true.
He is stifling the media, just like he said he was going to do. He's turning the military against U.S. citizens, which he tried to do his first term. He's giving huge tax breaks to corporations, which is going to lead to worse economic numbers, which he said he was going to do. He's implementing tariffs, which is causing an increase in inflation and a reduction in employment, which is exactly what he said he was going to do. He is doing everything, and he's supporting Israel, like he said he was going to do. He's saying he's doing everything he said he was going to do. The problem is that all those things are really bad things.
I just want to say shout out to the one guy that I've listened to that turned me away from Trump was that guy Nick Fuentes. I started listening to him and he kind of got me turned around a bit.
Well, do not follow Nick Fuentes. He is a super racist and a giant piece of shit. But hey, as long as you don't support Trump, you can like him all you want. It doesn't change what I said. But anyways, I'm going to move on to Trump supporters. I appreciate you. Have a good day. Jay, thank you so much for the second $10 super chat. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Just mega dumpsters. I think it made MAGA dumpsters. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. But hey, thanks a lot, Jay Lee. I appreciate that. W's in chat for Jay Lee for the super chat. Sorry, I just zoned out there. What, Megan? The record will always reveal the truth. Check the data. Megan wants me to check the data. Look at the data. Let's see what the data says. Hello, how are you?
Doing awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
35.
How old? I'm sorry.
35.
35. Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Why is that? It's on your mind.
Well, because, I mean, this is just opinion. I'll get into facts here in a minute, but I believe he's the greatest president we've ever had besides George Washington himself.
Besides George, what made George Washington such a good president?
He was actually willing to fight alongside his troops, and if it wasn't for him, we'd still be speaking British, drinking crappy ass tea, and paying too much taxes.
So you think that because George Washington fought along with his troops, that makes him a good president?
Have you ever seen another president fight along their troops?
Sir, it's just a yes or no question. And yes, of course, Eisenhower was a general prior to becoming president. So yeah, there's been lots of them. But no, I was just asking if I'm sorry?
That's not the only reason. No,
I just said, do you think that makes you a good president? I'm just asking.
Yes, that's one of the things that makes
Donald
you a good
Trump's
president.
a draft dodger, right?
That's okay.
Oh, gotcha.
So was Bill Clinton.
So was Bill. We're not talking about it. Do you support Bill Clinton?
Hell no. He came from my state, but I still don't.
So there you go. That's consistency. You support Washington because, he fought along with his troops. You don't support Bill Clinton because he didn't. Okay. So now why do you support Donald Trump if he's a draft dodger? Seems like that's the exact opposite. If you're saying that a good quality of a president is someone who's willing to fight alongside his troops, and Donald Trump avoided that at all costs.
Well, like I said, that's not the only reason. Look at the economy. The economy is way better than it was under the Biden administration. He can actually sign his own stuff, and not use AutoPen.
Sir, Donald Trump has used AutoPen many, many times. Okay, and that's
but he doesn't
proven.
have to.
Okay, sir,
he's competent.
Sir. Under what metric is the economy better?
Let's see. Jobs have went up.
Jobs are down. Actually, we have the highest unemployment rate right now that we've had in 4 years. June was our first time of negative job creation in a month since we shut down for COVID. Inflation is on its way up. We're literally in stagflation right now. What are you talking about?
The first month that was the negative, right? You just said June was the first month that was negative since COVID.
Since 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have had positive job growth since 2020.
Because they're letting in so many illegal immigrants, it's not even funny.
No,
you know how many illegal immigrants they let in?
Sir, do you know how we calculate job growth and unemployment rate? Because undocumented immigrants are not going to be what drives that number.
Oh, I'm sure. You think everybody tells the truth when they're using illegal immigrants?
No, of course they don't. But that wouldn't affect the numbers.
Of course it would.
Okay, sir, how do we calculate job creation numbers?
I believe it goes by like a census type thing, not the census, of course, but they have job reports that companies put in, and it goes by averages actually, if you want to be truthful.
Awesome. So, if a company says that they're hiring, okay, and that they're trying to hire more people, okay, that would go as job creation, right? And then they would go back and say, hey, have you hired? Hey, have you filled these spots? Whatever. If a company, okay, is already hiring a whole bunch of undocumented immigrants, then they wouldn't say that they were hiring. So that would actually be a negative towards job creation numbers, not a positive. Okay.
They would say that they're hiring because they don't want to know that they have a bunch of Mexicans that are undocumented.
No, sir, they would just not be hiring. They would say, hey, we're full. We don't need to hire anyone.
Yeah, because if they say they're full, then they're obviously going to want to see who, is working there, because that's also
that's
documented
not
as well.
how that works. Second of all, sir, the number of undocumented immigrants in the country has barely changed since Trump came in office. So it wouldn't.
You're so silly, dude. That's not true.
How many undocumented immigrants are projected to be in the United States?
Oh, there's I don't know. There was 3 million until they started cracking down and sending them to different countries.
Try 14 million.
Oh, and guess who let them all in? The Biden administration and Obama.
Sir, stop trying to move the conversation. Okay, we're talking about job numbers as it relates to immigration. Okay.
No, we're talking about why do I still support Trump?
Sir,
that's
listen,
what we're talking about.
Sir, listen. Okay. You said that there was 3 million undocumented immigrants. You're not even close. Okay, it's around 14 million. And do you know how many Donald Trump has deported?
I mean, not very many compared to that number.
Very, very correct. Not very many in comparison to that number. Just over 300,000 would be around the accurate number. Okay.
But at least he's trying, though. The other ones wanted to become.
Sir, listen. Then listen. I am still talking. Okay. I know you want very, very hard to move on to your next point because you don't want at any point for us to actually delve in to any section of what you're saying, because any slight bit of scrutiny into what you're saying shows that it's wrong. But I do have things I want to say about it. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Awesome. All right. So if you're saying that the job numbers are getting worse because they're cracking down on immigration, but Donald Trump has deported almost no undocumented immigrants based off the amount that are here, then that doesn't make sense for the economic numbers. And none of that has to do with the fact that you said that the economic numbers are better, and they're not. Okay, so you can't say the economy is better due to Trump and then also say the economy is worse because of Trump because Biden let in a bunch of immigrants. So which one is it? Is the economy better or is the economy worse?
It's better.
Okay,
I'm
how?
pretty sure
Under which metric is it better?
Well, the tariffs are definitely helping us. Do you know how much money that America has saved and or raised because of tariffs?
I mean, you're going to have to define America by that. Do you mean the America as a country or America as the government?
I have to clarify America?
Yes. Do you mean America as the country? Or, well, technically America is not even a country. America would be a continent. But do you mean the United States of America as a country or as a government?
Both.
Okay, well, that doesn't work, okay? Because as a country, we haven't raised shit. Okay. As a government, okay, we've raised a few $1 billion, but the government has raised a few $1 billion by taxing the American people.
No, they did it by tariffs, which tax other countries like they've been doing to us for years and years and years without any reciprocal tariffs.
Yeah. The problem with that, sir, is other countries don't pay tariffs. U.S. importers pay tariffs.
We'll have to disagree. We'll have to agree to disagree on that.
That's not an agreed to disagree. That is a fact.
No,
okay,
absolutely
because
is. I'm doing better financially. I'm doing better financially than I ever have.
You can do better financially all you want. Okay, when we went through like the Great Depression, okay, like the worst economic collapse in the United States history, there were still people that did good. It doesn't mean that the economy is doing good. Okay,
yeah, but they did.
But sir, we are not agreeing to disagree on a fact, okay? And the fact is that U.S. importers pay tariffs, not other countries, not other companies, okay? A tariff is literally a tax on an imported good, okay? So if I am an importer and I am getting stuff from China,
that's not what it is. That's not what a tariff is.
But that is what it is, sir. That is what it is.
If we buy something from Taiwan, right?
Who's we?
America.
Okay.
American.
Well, America doesn't buy anything. Are you talking about just like an American citizen? Like if I buy something from Taiwan, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You're a big company and you buy something from Taiwan.
Hold on. As a company.
It's
okay.
insane.
Not me, as a company. All right.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to call Taiwan and be like, "Hey, sell me this shit," would you?
Correct. I wouldn't. I'm just trying to clarify. I am trying to clarify your hypothetical, your story here.
Rage bait. That's what liberals do, my dude.
I'm not a liberal, and I am just trying to clarify.
Well, I mean, there's such thing as common sense, guy. Like,
Right, sir, and I wish you would use some. But you can continue on with your story, all right?
I have plenty of common sense.
Sir, how
That's
would it
why
be,
I still think.
sir, how would it be
That's why
common
I still think
sense,
Trump is a better
sir,
president.
how do you think it would be common sense for the U.S. government to be able to implement a tax on another country? How do you think that that is common sense?
Because a tariff on them means we pay less for their goods. That's what that means, bro. If we have 100% tariff on their exports, that means when we import it, we pay like,
$0 because it's 100%. So we pay 100% less for the good, right?
See, that's why you're not using common sense, my guy.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I'm not using common sense. Totally correct.
But anyway, back to why Trump is
no, we're not
still
going back off of anything, sir. Okay, we are talking about tariffs and tariff goods, and you were talking about a story, and I would like to hear the rest of your story.
Does your little thing right there that I'm looking at say, why are tariffs good or bad? No, it says, why do you still support Trump?
Oh, sir, you see how also underneath there's my face?
Yeah.
Yeah, my face is on here because it's my stream. Okay.
Yeah. So,
and if I don't want to change, change topics, I don't have to. Okay. I want to hear the rest of your story when it comes to tariffs. Okay. You're saying if I want to buy something from Taiwan, I really hope that you continue the story.
Okay. Like I said, it offsets their tariffs. Say they have 180% tariff on us and we have 100% on them. That means we're only paying 80% of what we would have had to pay.
Well, first of all, nobody has 180% tariff on anybody.
That's bullshit. Look it up. That's bullshit. Look it up.
Yeah. The highest tariff that's been implemented is actually us on China when we put 145% tariff on them. And they actually only had, I believe, 120% tariff on us. Okay. But regardless of any of that, that's not how that works. Okay. What a tariff is saying like, you're right. Say I'm a big company. Say I'm Walmart or Amazon or I don't know. Pick whatever giant company that you want. Make up one. I don't care. Right. And I need to get all my goods from Taiwan. Right. And the United States has 100% tariff on Taiwan. That means that if I buy something from Taiwan and the Taiwan company is charging me $5 for that product. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then I have to pay Taiwan, that company in Taiwan, $5. And I also have to pay another $5 to the US government in order to bring that product in. And that works for every single piece of equipment, every single piece of whatever that comes in. I, as the importer, have to pay that tariff. Now, depending on margins of whatever that good is, like say it's like a cheap broom or something, right? I then now have to raise the price of that broom to the consumer who is actually buying it. So pick person who buys something off of Amazon. Okay. And now I have to add that $5 onto what they pay for the product. Okay. Because I, according to the margins, can't pay that amount of money, right? Because I'm not making that much money off of the product in order to eat that cost. Okay, so therefore the American consumer is the one who pays the tariff, which is why we're seeing inflation rise.
No, we're seeing inflation rise because of the dumbass Fed chairs.
Okay, and how is the dumbass Fed chairs causing inflation to rise?
Because of the interest cuts or interest rate, they decide what goes up, what goes down. They decide who pays what for what. Like, you know what I mean? And then,
no, I do not know what you mean.
Even if you are right, those extra taxes, guess what they go to pay for? They go to pay for roads and infrastructure and electric infrastructure. They go to.
Really? So what infrastructure bill has the Trump administration passed to help infrastructure?
I'm not saying it's an infrastructure bill, fool.
Well, then
taxes
how else?
Go to pay for roads. It doesn't have to be a bill. That's just the way it is.
No, sir. The money goes to the U.S. government, and then the U.S. government has to appropriate that money to different things, such as infrastructure, such as roads. Okay.
That's what I just said.
Right, but no, it takes a bill, an appropriation to do that. It doesn't just
So
end up in a road. Okay.
Every time they get a tax dollar, they have to go and pay Congress or whatever. They have to pay those people to sit there and make a bill for every single dollar that comes through and say what it's going to go for, right?
Yes.
That's silly, bro.
It's literally called an appropriations bill. It's the literal name of it.
So then why are not America's roads crap all the time?
Because they pass bills for infrastructure. You do realize that under the Biden administration, we had a $1 trillion infrastructure bill, the largest infrastructure bill in American history, right?
Yeah, and what did it do for the American people?
Built roads, bridges, airports, electrical
it
grids, fiber internet connections, literally all the things that you were talking about that you think our tax dollars should go to, that's what it went to. Or is going to. It's actually the bill expanded production, expanded infrastructure over 10 years. So it's actually still building. Actually, if you go to a freeway near you and you see like them fixing that freeway and doing things to that freeway, that is because of the bill that was passed and signed under the Biden administration.
Yeah, but it's also going for like what is it? Like pregnancy prevention for teen trans boys and shit like that. The reason I like Trump is because
there was literally nothing in an infrastructure bill, okay, that would go towards contraception. So we're not talking about every single bill that Congress has passed. We are talking about the infrastructure bill because that is what you said.
I'm talking about what Donald Trump does to make this country better.
Because, sir, you said that you want our tax dollars going to things like infrastructure, and I am showing you, okay, how the Biden administration made things like infrastructure a priority. All right. And how the Trump administration is not putting things like infrastructure as a priority.
Do you know why? Like, do you even know? I'd be willing to guess. This is not facts, but I'd be willing to guess just based off of, you ain't going to agree with it. But my common sense tells me the only reason Biden passed shit like that was so they could slip other stuff into the bill, like the stuff I was just talking about.
No. And let's also be very clear that Republicans helped pass that bill.
Yeah, because the way it works is that most people have to agree on it. It has to be a majority. So if it takes blah, 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 blah for us to get the good stuff passed, well, then it's just they have to weigh whether blah, blah, blah is worth it to get the good stuff passed. You do realize
that Biden ran on passing infrastructure. Trump ran on passing infrastructure too in his first term, but Trump failed at doing that. Okay. And then Biden said, I'll run and I'll actually fix infrastructure. And he did. Okay.
You tell me one thing besides the Ukraine war and the Israel war that Trump said he was going to do that hasn't done yet.
Tell you one thing, but lower grocery prices.
They are lower.
They are
eggs
not.
Used to be like fucking $6 a gallon.
Sir. When I say eggs, yes, I know eggs are $6 a gallon. It's crazy. Okay. When I say groceries, I don't mean just eggs. Okay. I mean all groceries. Beef is
groceries. Eggs are groceries, are they not?
Yes, they're groceries? One piece of groceries. Beef is up like 20. Sir. Beef is up like 20.
Prices
sir.
Gas prices are down.
Beef is up like 20%, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit happens.
Oh, okay. So now all of a sudden you don't care that grocery prices are up. That's fine. You said name one thing that Donald Trump said he was going to do besides in the war in Ukraine and the war in Ukraine and the war with Israel, right? He said he was going to do those two things. Name one other thing. He said he was going to lower grocery prices. He didn't. He said he was going to bring back manufacturing jobs. We are down in manufacturing jobs in this country.
And he's working on it with the tariffs, bro.
But, sir, you didn't ask me. Sir, you didn't ask me to name something you think he's working on. You asked me to name something that Trump ran on that he didn't fix.
Okay, you're right. He didn't lower the price of every single thing you could buy in a grocery store.
Correct. And he didn't lower the price of even the average of things that you could buy in the grocery store. If you go to the grocery store right now, okay, the average person on an average grocery bill buying the exact same thing is paying more money for that grocery bill.
Not me.
I didn't say every singular person in the United States, did I?
No, but you
Okay,
you
then
can't
what did
always
I
go on
then
averages
then
on
what
everything, bro.
then what did I ask? What did I say?
You said that the average person could go into the average grocery store and they're spending more for stuff than they would have before.
Correct. I didn't say
Okay.
you. I don't go grocery shopping for you. I don't know
Am I
what
not
you
a
buy.
fucking American citizen?
I don't know.
Of course I am.
I mean, how would I know that? I haven't seen your
Well,
birth
I know
certificate.
that. That's what I'm telling you. If I wasn't an American citizen, I wouldn't be having this conversation because I wouldn't care.
What are you talking about? I get people up here from other countries all the time.
Are they citizens?
No, they're from other countries.
You can still be a fucking citizen if you do your shit right and come in here and become an
Sir,
American
they
citizen,
live
bro.
in places like Sweden, Norway, Germany, Canada. They don't even live
Then
in this
what
country.
What the fuck are they even calling for?
And honestly, the sad part is a lot of them know a lot more about the U.S. system and the way it works than a lot of the American citizens I talk to. That's what's even sadder.
I mean, you believe whatever you want to believe, bro. So, are you going to let me get back to why I still support Trump, or are you just going to keep being facetious and pointing out every little bullshit thing?
That is not the correct use of the word facetious, but yes, you can speak about whatever you like.
Okay, are you going to keep being an asshole?
Possibly.
And then, pointing out every single thing.
I actually thought I was being actually quite nice, but I'm sorry if you feel like I'm being an asshole. I thought I was being quite nice, actually.
I mean, there's different uses of the word asshole. Dude. You don't have to run up and punch somebody in the face for no reason to be an asshole. You know what I mean? You could just purposely try to push people's buttons with stuff that, doesn't necessarily make sense, but in your view, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
I am not trying to push your buttons. I'm literally just having a conversation. If I wanted to try to push your buttons, I could do it. I could do it. I'm not trying to. But you said you had something else to say. So what would you like to say?
I'm trying to get back to the main point you have up on your screen that says, why do you still like Trump or still support Trump?
Okay.
So I'd like to say I support Trump because he's got common sense. He understands that a man can't become a woman. He understands that men shouldn't use women's bathrooms and they shouldn't be in women's sports. He understands that, unlike a whole bunch of people in this country.
Does he believe that men?
Biden.
Does he believe that men shouldn't be in like women's locker rooms while they're changing and stuff?
Yes, he does believe that, actually.
Then why did he brag on Howard Stern about going into the women's changing rooms at Miss Teen USA to be able to see the girls naked and say that because he owns it, you can just do it and they just let you do it?
Well, I mean, if you own the fucking bathroom, that's like your bathroom at your house. You own that. You decide who goes in there, right?
Gotcha. So if I own a gym and there's a women's locker room in there, I should be able to legally go into the women's restroom and just whenever I want because I own it?
If you couldn't, wouldn't that be like, why would you own it? I'm not saying you should.
Why would I own a gym? Because I like working out. And why would I have a women's locker room? Because I would think that women would also want to be able to work out in my gym.
You know exactly what I'm saying, dude.
No, I don't know what you're saying, sir, because if I did own a gym, and I, did have a women's locker room in there, I would not go in there until after closing hours to make sure that, I could clean it and all that sort of stuff. Or possibly I would even hire someone to make sure that they could go in and clean, the bathroom during the day and stuff like that. But no, I wouldn't do that.
True. But do we both agree that people make mistakes?
That's not a mistake if you're bragging about it.
That was also part of the mistake. He should not have bragged about it.
So he made the mistake of consistently going into Miss Teen USA locker rooms over and over, and then he made a mistake by enjoying it and bragging about it.
How many times did he do it?
Oh, I don't know.
No, give me an exact number, because you insist that he did it over and over and over again.
He's the one who said he did it over and over and over again. He didn't give a number. I'm just using his words.
I bet you couldn't pull a clip up of him saying he did it over and over and over again.
I absolutely could. And you could too if you actually, took enough time to, actually research any of this.
Look, at least he admitted he was a man going into a woman's bathroom. He didn't say he had the right to go in there and,
He
and
absolutely did say he had the right to do that.
and he doesn't think that men can have babies. You know what I mean? Unlike dumbass left people like Joe Biden and fucking, Ku Klux Kamala Harris.
I don't think Joe Biden ever had a baby.
That's what I'm saying. But he
Kamala Harris didn't even have a baby. I don't know what you're talking about.
They both were for stuff like giving LGBTQ this blah 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 stuff, or passing, like I said, passing bills to send money to other countries so that they could have a teen male trans pregnancy prevention course.
I'm sorry. Where was there a teen male trans pregnancy prevention course?
Hold on.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Carolyn Levitt? You know who she is, right? Have you ever watched any of her stuff?
Unfortunately.
Because she came out with all the receipts, bro. Like telling, like, hey.
Caroline Levitt has never come out with a singular receipt on anything. I don't think Caroline Levitt gets a receipt when she goes grocery shopping. I don't think she's ever come with an. I'm not sure Caroline Levitt can spell receipt. To be completely honest with you,
bro, I bet she could beat you up though.
That's possible.
And yeah, she can't spell, but there she is up working for the president of the United States, and you're doing a podcast. Come on, guys.
You know that doing this podcast is exactly how Kash Patel got his job as the FBI director?
Oh, so you think doing this is going to get you in the FBI?
I sure as hell hope not. I have no idea what I would be doing. Just like Kash Patel, actually.
I bet you'd be doing the same thing, rooting for the left, pushing that narrative that got Charlie Kirk shot.
Sir, there's absolutely zero reason for me to ever be the head of the FBI. Anybody who would put me as the head, if you're ever like going to support like somebody and you're like, man, I think this is a great person for president, and they're like, politics should be the head of the FBI, don't vote for them. They do not know what they're doing, because I don't know what I'm doing. All right. But anyways, I'm going to move on to the next caller, because this conversation has just gone completely off the rails and is worthless. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy Saturday. All right. Make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We do this every day, but Friday. If you'd like to support the live, I do have super chats, and I also have all my pay links in my bio: Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all at Polypolitics, just like my name. I appreciate that. Not the 1.0 for you guys on YouTube. Feisty, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Said, I received a tariff bill from FedEx. I'm an individual. That's actually fine. Thank you so much, Feisty. I appreciate that. I did go to buy a toaster this morning, and I was like, tariffs are definitely hitting. I was like, oh my goodness, toasters were expensive.
It's insane.
It's pretty crazy. Thank you so much, Feisty. Big W's in the chat for Feisty. Frost King said, this guy is hurting my head. It should be impossible for someone to be that stupid. And the worst part is he voted votes. Non-existent. God's help us. Yeah, God help us is Rice, Frost King. Thank you so much for that. And Jay Lee, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says MAGA dumpster on call. Thank you so much, Jay Lee. Big W's in the chat for Feisty, Frost King, and Jay Lee for the super chats. I appreciate that. And for Carol with the coral, I saw that also. I also saw. Did I see a second subscription going on that came? I think there was somebody else subscribed in on Twitch too. I gotta try to find that and say thank you for that. We're gonna move on to the next caller. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
Not bad.
Awesome. How old are you?
23.
Awesome. Do you support Trump?
I'm going to be honest. I'm more of an ANCAP, so I don't support anyone in the state. I just woke up early for this, so I thought I could crush you on the abortion debate, but wanted to be respectful of your time. If that's not what you're trying to get into, then I guess I'll just...
No, you're right. It's not. Have a good day. All right. Anyways, we're going to move on to the next person. Let's see, was there one over there? Did I miss it? I try to find this thing now. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, how old are you?
So I do support Trump.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 22.
Awesome. What's on your mind?
Well, I like Trump because I'm Jewish. I have full support of Israel, and I think he's doing a good job backing that.
All right. How's he doing a good job backing that?
Well, I just don't like. Well, I just think the Palestinians are dangerous.
Interesting. How's that?
Well, because I see like down there, excuse my language, but they're cutting clits off, and I don't know what to do about it. And on top of that, they're eating their own kids.
Oh, that's very sad and incredibly xenophobic.
And I think those people.
I do not want to hear your boyfriend in the background. Anyways, we're going to move on to the next person. That was very sad. It's crazy how some people are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know what's up with the whole the new script thing on Israel. I've heard a lot about it lately. I don't really know what's going on. But it definitely has been thank you so much, swearing. It definitely has been I don't know how to say it. It's definitely been on the script lately. I assume this means that Fox News has been talking about it more. Normally, when Fox News starts talking about something more, people keep coming up with the same exact, arguments over and over. I don't know. Anyways, let's see who this person is. Oh, and goodbye. Oh, here we go. Hello.
Good day. How are you?
Good. Can you please turn off the stream in the background?
Oh, that would be you in the background, my friend.
I know. I don't want to hear me in the background. Hold on. You're muted on everything until I can stop hearing the echo. There we go. Check, check.
Check.
Nope, I can still hear you, sir. I can still hear myself in the background. I do not want to hear myself in the back. You have to mute the stream. All right, I'm gonna have to hang up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to hang up. I'm sorry. I cannot sit there and listen to the echo.
It's insane.
That is brutal. That is absolutely brutal. If you guys do want to call in, if you are a Trump supporter and you'd like to call in and have a conversation, first of all, I really appreciate you. Second of all, please, when I answer the phone, please mute the stream. Okay, I can't listen to myself in the background. That is way too hard. Jay Lee, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said they're so crazy they make me look normal. Plus side on a MAGA toaster.
It's insane.
The plus side is they make Jay Lee look normal. Ari just messaged me. She said the anti-Semitism is coming heavily from Candace Owens. She's been spreading the narrative. Oh, that Mossad killed Kirk. You gotcha. All right. That's where that's coming from. I was curious about that. Candace Owens is a real piece of work. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of him, but I still support him.
Why would you still support someone that you're not a fan of?
Well, to me, it was just, I'm U.S. military. I already served under his first administration and how he performed. My bad. There's a bunch of stuff in the background with my daughter. But essentially, how he performed with the military during his first presidency, and how he conducted himself with the military.
And how was that?
I knew what to expect. So when I first joined, we had orders to go to Syria and Iraq. And when he got in, he did what was known as a fragmentation order. He's like, yeah, nope, fuck that. You're going to Korea. So instead of going to a combat zone, like everyone else ended up having to do around that time, we were able to just go ahead and party it up in Korea for 9 months instead of going out in the hot desert for.
So let me get
months.
this straight, because your specific unit had a change of orders. You think that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, came down and changed the orders of a specific unit and where they were going?
No, he changed it for the vast majority of the active duty elements. It wasn't mine.
First of
was
all,
several other units that did that.
First of all, the person in Donald Trump's unit that controlled that was General Mattis, okay, who was the Secretary of Defense. General Mattis was a very, 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 very excellent military general. Crazy good, okay? And General Mattis quit because Donald Trump sucks.
Oh, I'm confused where you're getting at. On our fragmentation order, it was signed by president.
Yes, and so is every retirement order in the military. Okay, cool. It doesn't mean that the president is making every single one of those decisions.
No, that's not how it works.
That is how it works.
It's signed by echelon.
That is exactly how it works.
No, it's signed by echelon.
It's signed by echelon?
Battalion level, yeah, if you're a battalion level fragmentation order, frago, it would be signed by your lieutenant colonel. If it's a brigade order, it will be signed by your colonel, your brigade commander. If it's a division order, it's signed by your CG, your commanding general. If it's a force comm level, it's signed by a 2 to 3 star. If it's a Pentagon level, it's signed by the chief of staff. If it's a presidential fragmentation order, it is signed by the president.
Awesome. None of that changes what the fuck I just said.
Well, I'm surprised that you didn't know that.
None of that changes what I said in the slightest, okay? Because any understanding of how the military works, okay, and how the president runs the military shows that there are tons and tons, literally most of the major orders that come as a force change within the military are signed by the president, but the president is not the one making that decision. The president's just the one approving the decision that is made by the Secretary of Defense. And any understanding of the military chain of command would show that. Because the president doesn't sit around and make individual decisions on force movements or anything like that. That would be crazy. That would literally be the president's entire job if they did that. That's why we have people.
I feel like you're confused.
That's why we
on
have people.
Fragmentation order is.
Sir, I am not in any way confused on what a fragmentation order is. You are confused on whether the president is actually making the decision on troop movements, which they are not. Okay, and if you really want to talk about the changing of orders, if you want to change the sir, if you want to talk about the listen. If you want to talk about the changing of orders,
on, dude. I just want to have a chat.
I am trying to have a chat with you, sir. If you want to make that decision,
you're going on, man.
Yes, I'm allowed to talk on my live. Is that okay with you? You're Army, aren't you?
You're being condescending, man. Come on.
You're Army, aren't you?
Come on. What's that?
You're Army, aren't you? You're Army.
Why do you say that?
I can just tell. I can just tell. Anyways, I can just fucking tell. Huh?
You're Navy or Marines?
Oh, I'm not saying anything about me. I'm just saying I can pick out an Army guy real fast. Anyways, second of all, okay, if you really want to talk about the changing of orders and the movement of troops, then there was less people in deployed locations and in hazard locations under the Biden administration than there was under the first Trump administration.
Yeah, I find that difficult to believe, but all right.
Well, you can believe it or not believe it. And this is why I was talking about the fact that you're talking about the specific orders for you that you got, and you're not looking at it as a whole. And if you really want to talk about, again, troops moving and having to be in deployed locations, you do realize that Trump just said he's trying to take back Bagram Air Force Base, which is literally a re-entering of the U.S. military force into Afghanistan. Do you support that?
Well, yeah, we need to get our equipment out.
Gotcha. So you were no, it's not a matter of getting our equipment out. Our equipment's gone. The equipment is
Oh,
gone.
I know. It's all over in the black market now.
It's
over
all
in the black market.
gone.
It's an absolute
Okay,
shit show.
the equipment
Me and you
is
could agree on
gone.
that.
Okay, we're not going to take going back to Afghanistan to get equipment back. We're going there to freaking to have military enforcement like they had before. Okay, so if you're saying that Donald Trump was the reason that a certain group of people had to have moved from going to Iraq to going to Korea, then you should be very, very much against the U.S. military returning to Afghanistan.
Well, no, that wasn't the point. But
It sounds like the point.
no, the point was he did a follow through with multiple divisions, where he's like, yeah, no, we're not going to be sending U.S. troops over to the Middle East and blah blah blah. And then we find out he authorized fragmentation orders of the deployments to other places.
Are you trying to make the claim right now the Donald Trump administration was not sending military members in the Middle East? Because I'm going to hurt your feelings.
No, I don't think you understood me. He braggoed a bunch of deployments.
I understand what you're saying. You don't, sir. No matter how many times you talk about fragment,
my words out of
sir.
context.
No matter how many
I'm
times you
confused
say
here.
fragmentation order, I'm not going to understand it more or less. I understand it completely. Okay. No matter how many times you repeat it. Okay.
But you seem to be confused on what I'm getting at because you're like, oh,
I am very confused on what you're getting at. What are you getting at?
Well, you said that I'm saying that the Trump administration stopped all movements to the Middle East. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he heavily reduced the amount of deployment orders and the amount of deployments per divisions to the Middle East.
Okay.
He didn't stop troops.
Yeah,
from
we were
going to the
drawing
Middle
down in
East.
certain
You
parts of the
can't
Middle
do
East.
that because of the footprint we have.
Yeah, but we were,
But
sir, we had been
he heavily
drawing down
reduced
well
it.
before Donald Trump got in office. You understand that, right?
Yeah, no, I understand that.
We were
but it
drawing
was
down
a
at the end of
drastic
Obama's
change.
administration. We drew down in during the Trump administration, and then we continued to draw down during the Biden administration.
Okay. I mean, it drastically changed. I mean, to me,
It didn't
was
drastically
quite
change. So
evident.
the only thing that drastically changed was the quick and rapid reduction of troops in Afghanistan. One that was absolutely way too quick, and what caused all the situation with our equipment being left in Afghanistan to begin with, and caused the freaking loss of life of the civilians and the Marines that in Afghanistan when we pulled out.
I'm curious because now we're talking about Afghanistan. What are your thoughts on?
Well, you did bring up the
Afghanistan,
Middle East.
pullout? Well, you're talking about Afghanistan specifically.
Afghanistan
but
is in the Middle East.
I
yeah.
was just curious. Yes, I'm well aware.
Okay.
You don't need to be condescending. What are your thoughts on
That's
the
how I
Afghan
knew he
pull
was Army.
and the Afghan operations that we conducted?
What? I'm sorry, I wasn't really listening. What'd you say?
I can tell. Anyway, what is your thoughts on?
I'm glad
the
you could tell.
Afghan
I was
pull and the
talking. It wasn't
Afghan
hard to tell. I
operations?
wasn't trying to hide it.
So you just want to sit here and try to just roast people and so on.
Sir, if you wanted me to roast you, you
you're-
would. Sir, I have not even begun to roast you. I'm actually trying to be respectful to you because you're a
No,
military
you're
person.
not.
Yes, I am. If you
No,
want me to
you're
get
not.
disrespectful, I can get real disrespectful real quick.
What
If-
are you gonna
if-
do?
if
You're gonna do
that's-
the classic
if
like
that's-
Vietnam shit, like oh you're a baby killer or some shit. Like I've already been spat on in uniform. I've already
Sir,
dealt with
sir,
Plymouth
sir,
disrespecting
sir,
uniform. What
sir,
you're gonna
sir.
say
I do,
is
sir.
nothing.
Again, I am respecting you because you wear the uniform. I just
Are
said
you
that.
sure? Are you
Okay.
sure?
If
Because
you'd
the
like
entire
me
time
to
has
get
been a
disrespectful,
condescending, disrespectful
yeah.
tone.
If you'd like me to get disrespectful, I can. Okay.
That right there is exactly the reason why I know you don't.
No, that is
actually
you
give a
fucking
shit.
whining like a little baby, which is how I knew you were in the Army. Oh, because every single time that somebody else
Sure.
comes up and starts whining about my fucking tone, they're always in the Army. Okay. And truthfully, considering the fact that both of my parents were fucking Army, it's kind of fucking crazy, okay, to have the Army get into the point where literally if I even fucking say anything, it's just wham, 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 you're fucking condescending, wham, 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 you're talking, wham, 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 wham. That is what is driving me fucking crazy, is that a fucking person who is claiming to be in the military on my live is so fucking fragile that they cannot have even the most slightly tense of conversation without crying about my fucking tone. Okay, somebody who obviously does not understand whatsoever the way that our fucking military works, the way that drawdown orders work, and our presence within the Middle East and how it affected the entire military. Okay, so if you would like to continue this conversation, we totally 100% can continue this conversation, but I'm gonna need you to get a little bit of a thicker skin.
No, I think you need to put on your big boy pants, dude. Like
I need to put on my big boy pants
like
because you're on fucking YouTube crying about the tone of a fucking YouTube screamer, and I need to put on my big boy pants.
No, I'm not crying about it.
Jesus fucking Christ, child.
And condescending. You're just being
Respect
condescending,
me.
and you're contradicting your whole point.
Sir, what point have I contradicted?
Like, oh, I give you all the respect, but
what point have I contradicted? No, sir. I again told you I was trying to be respectful 3 different times, and you continued to whine. And I told you if you want me to get disrespectful, I will. So now I am being disrespectful. Do you understand that now? Now I am being disrespectful. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you understand the difference?
You have no principle. You have no standing.
I have tons of principle and tons of standing. You have no principle and no standing whatsoever as a military member who is literally supporting a president who is breaking the Constitution, which you took an oath to. Oh yeah. Oh, you think we can't go there? Do you want to talk about the fact that Donald Trump is currently freaking breaking the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 23rd Amendment? What did you take an oath to, sir?
I took an oath to protect you.
No, you did not. You took an oath to protect and serve the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That is what you took an oath to. Not to protect me, not to protect the president, to protect the Constitution of the United States.
I think you didn't do enough research on that, bub.
I didn't do enough research as I'm literally freaking quoting your oath that you don't know.
I know my oath.
Oh, okay, go ahead and recite it.
My oath didn't have an expiration either.
Yeah, really? Sounds like it did.
Yeah. No?
No.
What
is your oath, by the way?
What's that?
What is your oath, by the way?
What is my oath?
Mm-hmm.
To protect, support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, to uphold the orders of the president appointed and all of the officers appointed over me in accordance to the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
There we go.
Obviously,
that's close enough.
Taking out a few words and so on, but
I'll give you credit for being close enough. That's fine.
But within it, it's inherent that you're protecting the people of the United States under it. It's inherent.
No, you protect the Constitution. The Constitution protects the people under it, which is why the Constitution is so important.
So I technically am protecting the people underneath. Okay, so glad we're on the same page.
We are not. So anyways, you want to talk about Afghanistan?
Oh, yeah, we are. Yeah, what are your thoughts on Afghanistan?
What about it?
You know, the babies getting thrown over the barbed wire and so on. You know, like the whole shit show that was an Afghan poll. Go ahead.
The whole Afghan poll that was literally negotiated and done by Donald Trump administration by negotiating with the Taliban at fucking Camp David. That one?
Yeah, we had like next to no deaths once the negotiations were made until the pullout.
Yeah, you do realize that the people that freaking attacked on the pullout were literally led by the 5,000 Taliban troops that Donald Trump let out?
I'm well aware. That it was a shit show.
Yeah, you do realize
the fact that a lot of service members did not die once the negotiations were made up until the pull. There was a lot less murders. There was a lot less deaths. There were a lot less combatants.
Yes, because they pulled so many people out. You do realize that freaking General Kelly, General Milley, all these generals have come out and been very, very vocal about the fact that they warned Donald Trump that if they rapidly pulled out of Afghanistan, that there would end up being a freaking horrible pullout, that we would lose equipment, and that we would lose personnel. And Donald Trump said, I do not care, and did it anyway.
He said blatantly, I do not care.
I don't know if he used those exact words. I do not care. He did it anyway. He disregarded
So this
the
is
freaking
speculation.
recommendations of his generals, and exactly what his general said would happen happened. Whether he said I don't care or did the actions of I don't care doesn't matter to me. It doesn't change anything.
Oh, all right. Okay. About sums it up.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your service. I hope you have a wonderful day.
And whatever. Bye.
Bye. Corey, you see how I can pick out your boys like so quick now? See how much better I'm getting? We're about to move on to the next caller. Where's Corey at? Where's Corey at? Corey's my my local grunt mod. Where's he at? I don't see him in here. Daniel, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Say he eliminated H-1B visa, small victory after printing $5 trillion for his friends. I knew Corey was there someplace. Oh, thank you so much. I don't think I was just reading on that. I know he imposed a fee on H-1B visas. I don't think he got rid of it. Guys, let me be very clear, okay? I very, 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 very much respect our military members, okay? But that does not qualify you to be wrong, okay? You don't get to just say, I'm in the military, so therefore I am going to just say wrong things, okay? And not be called out for your wrong things, okay? Anybody who signs up for the military, I have the highest level of respect for just for signing up, okay? That does not give you a pass, okay, to just do and say whatever you want. At all. Okay? Point blank. All right. So if you guys want to find a live where I just sit here and just let you, because you joined the military, that you just say and do whatever you want, then you're in the wrong live. I would advise you find someplace else, because I'm not doing that. All right. We're going to have conversations, and your choice of line of work does not change that. Megan, thank you so much. It says Ari is the best. Ari is the best. I really appreciate that. Maxwell says, as Trump supporters, thank you for civil discourse. As a Trump supporter, thanks you for civil discourse. I'm all for civil discourse. I really appreciate it. I love civil discourse. Shay, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Big W's in the chat for Shay. Daniel said Afghan heroin is so weak now due to poor soil. They have to add what? There's no reason for America to steal it. Is that what you think we're going over there, is to steal their opium? I think somebody actually did mention that. Thank you so much, Daniel. And Taurus with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Big W chat for Taurus. And if you got one of those memberships, make sure you send an extra little W for them also. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to keep moving this thing forward, keep this thing going. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll keep this thing going. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. How old are you?
I'm 35.
Awesome. Do you support Trump?
I'm sorry, you cut out there.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
why is that?
at least on some things.
Awesome. What's on your mind?
Well, I heard the previous call, and honestly, I couldn't agree more that a lot of the military members nowadays are very thin-skinned.
I actually thought I was being like really respectful to the guy. I don't know why he was getting his panties all in a bunch, but
I think yes and no for the most part. Yeah, you were being 100% respectful.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I had questions as far as why do you say that Trump is breaking the Constitution?
Yeah, which part of it? I mean, there's multiple parts. I was just asking.
You mentioned certain amendments, and I was just curious your thoughts as to, or why you say that.
I think the First Amendment is the one that's the most obvious right now.
How so?
Well, he already had a court order against him saying that he broke the First Amendment when it came to the AP News. He literally just got freaking Colbert fired and Kimmel fired. right, for saying things that he disagree with. He literally just said, just came out and said that the press in the White House is only going to be able to report on approved things that the friggin' White House allows them to be approved on, right? He's talking about making the law against burning the American flag, which is a protected First Amendment right, according to the Supreme Court. Yeah, I mean, and we're going on and on and on. He's trying to make freaking Antifa, which doesn't even make any sense, a domestic terrorist group, which A, he can't do, and B, they're not a group, and C, people are allowed to have freaking views against him. Like, that's totally okay. He's trying to say that the left is a domestic terrorist group, saying that anybody who disagrees with him is a terrorist. We can go on and on and on and on and on. We talk about the First Amendment, the Smithsonian, the Kennedy Center, freaking changing the curriculum for the Department of Education when the Department of Education doesn't even have, curriculum to try to, doesn't even control curriculum in order to be able to do that. Like, I actually am losing track of all the things that he's breaking as far as just the First Amendment.
Fair enough. I haven't heard all of that, and I do agree with you on some of those things that, you should have the freedom to do certain things. Yes, there should be consequences for various actions, if it's criminal, or if somebody just doesn't like it, they can speak out against it, right? As far as the Department of Education, I don't like the Department of Education in general. I think we should be modeled after some of the European countries because they are achieving higher education standards for their students.
So what about the Department of Education do you not like?
I just don't like how educated our students are coming out of the school versus other schools in other countries, and how much higher educated they are.
Well,
right?
yeah,
so I think something needs to change on that aspect.
Yeah, sure. I agree that our education system in this country is failing. I agree with that. I'm asking what your problem is with the Department of Education.
Well, I think with them being in charge for as long as they have been, and the standards that we're not really achieving, something needs to change. Either they need to be changed or they need to be gotten rid of, and it goes back to states controlling those curriculums and achieving that higher education level.
Yeah, and that's where I thought you were going with that, and I just want to make it very clear that the Department of Education does not control curriculum. States already control curriculum.
Fair enough. Then what is it that the Department of Education actually controls?
That is a great question. A lot of what they do is actually funding. Your Pell grants, right? Your different federal grants, and like your loans are federally, federal loans go through the Department of Education. Things like special needs, special education. All right, for children that that need that. Rural schools that do not have the ability to fund themselves because of how rural they are. But yeah, that's a lot of what they do. They don't control curriculum. That's why we have states like Mississippi that are kids are barely reading coming out of school there. And then you have other states like Massachusetts whose kids actually have very high education levels and and actually can stand up with other foreign educations, right? So if your problem is that kids are coming out not educated, right? The answer would actually probably be more likely to be moved from the states to the federal government.
Okay. Fair enough. Either way, I think something needs to change on that. And like I said, I support Trump on certain things. I think, honestly, he was the best candidate choice that was basically going to win out of the choices that we had this last election, and including the first election. That's the only reason I voted for him, by the way.
How was he the
better
best choice?
choices.
How was he the better choice on anything, really?
Just based off of hearing what his policies were, what he said on stage, things like that, versus Hillary or versus Kamala. Hillary, I didn't like the fact with the Benghazi incident. So she was in my mind already, no, I'm not voting for her. But there were
let's not worry about 2016, okay? Because Hillary Clinton was a really bad candidate, regardless, and not everybody understood what Trump was, right? But in this election, that's a lot different, right? Because he wasn't running against Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump, we already knew his policies were bad. Okay, the policy that he ran on running in this election were either A, not feasible, okay, or B, didn't make any sense. right? So what policy did he have in this election that was better than anything that Kamala Harris said?
Well, originally Trump said various things or put out his policies on his website, and Kamala at that point in time didn't have anything on her website as far as her policies, so I didn't even know what she stood for until months into the election or their campaign, right?
What do you mean months in, sir? She had it up within a month of her running, and she only ran for 107 days.
Pardon me, my memory's not as good as it once was. I unfortunately had 2 strokes, so I misremember things here and there.
Yeah, she only ran for a few months, right? She went from I'm not running for president at all to waking up one day and saying I'm running and being told she's running for president. And within a month of that, she had her entire policy platform up on her website. I think a month is really good time.
Fair enough. If that's the case, good. The other thing was from what I remember, the Democrat Party didn't vote her to be a candidate, and I disagreed with that.
Well, the party did vote for her to become the candidate. That's incorrect.
Did they?
Yes.
I'm going to have to verify that, but I'll take your word for it for now.
She didn't run in a primary because that's not the way the Democratic Party works, or the Republican Party works for that matter.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had an election, right? And in a primary, you vote for electors, right? And this happens in the Democrat and the Republican Party. You vote for electors, and those electors are picked by the presidential candidate that you're voting for, right? So if you vote in a primary for like Joe Biden, you're voting for an elector chosen by Joe Biden. That's what you're actually voting for, right? So when Biden drops out, those electors. Okay, electors. Why am I saying it like that?
Transfer
those electors
over to his candidate of choice.
They're allowed to vote for whoever they want.
Okay.
It becomes what's called an open convention, right? And so then anybody who wants to run can come in and put their name in, and then the electors vote for for the candidates that decide to run. But nobody else ran.
Fair enough.
So Kamala Harris was the only one that put her name in the hat, which is because she was the only one with the funding to be able to do so. So
yeah, and that somewhat makes sense.
Yeah, but she was selected under the rules of the Democratic Party, the way that their laws are written. Okay, as a private organization. Let's also remember that the Democratic Party is a private organization. They are not a government organization. And the Republican Party actually works the exact same way. If Donald Trump had dropped out after the election, after the primary election, then the exact same thing would have happened. And they would have went into an open convention and the electors would have voted for the next person there too. That's just how the system works.
Fair enough. The only other thing that I disagreed with was during the Biden administration. One, I disagree with Biden, and I think we could all agree that he had some kind of mental issue, right? Don't know what it was, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, he could have just been old. Kamala, I didn't really see much of what she was actually doing. Nothing that she was enforcing or trying to get done. It wasn't really made clear, even if she was pushing things through or trying to push the president to do certain things, if that makes any sense.
Well, of course she didn't. That's not her job.
Right, but she can still make her voice heard, right?
I mean, she can make her voice heard, but that's not her job. Like, can you please tell me like what major policy initiative that J.D. Vance is pushing?
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Can you tell me what major policy initiative Mike Pence did?
Again, you're reaching a little too far back for my limited memory capacity.
Mike Pence is Donald Trump's first vice president under.
Yeah, I remember the name, but I couldn't even remember what office he held.
Vice presidents don't have the power to pass policy initiatives. That's not really their thing.
No,
okay.
I understand they don't have the power to push policy initiatives. I completely understand that. It's more of, why not go out and speak about this? Or, hey, I had a conversation with the president today, and I'm working towards this goal, right? Making her voice heard.
Because it's not her job to have her voice heard. It's actually not the vice president's job to have their voice heard at all. They're there to support the president and do, and like work under the president. And it's the president's job to get the credit for it. Right. So it's not Kamala Harris going, I'm going to the Northern Triangle to help reduce asylum seeking coming from the Northern Triangle. Right. It's Joe
Right.
Biden going, I'm sending Kamala Harris to the Northern Triangle in order to reduce asylum seeking in the Northern Triangle, which he did. Right?
Fair enough.
Like, that's his job, not her job. Right? Does that make sense?
Fair enough. It's just somebody that I'm looking at. Like they didn't seem like they were doing much. Is why I was saying what I was saying.
Well, but see, here's the
Like-
thing. Like, there's a difference between doing a lot and seeming like you're doing a lot. Right?
Very true.
Like there is a big, like, if you work, like, you know, depending on where you work, like, you might get away. You can probably get away with in some jobs of just looking really busy. Okay.
Of course. I mean, in the military, one of the ways that you do that is you carry a manila folder around and you just walk real quick and look like you've got someplace important to be so you can get out of extra duties or things like that. I completely get it.
Yeah, you look real busy.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But looking real busy and being real busy, like you said, are two very, very different things, right? Like,
Right.
the Biden administration didn't look busy. And I'll even say, like, they didn't do enough press conferences. They weren't very forward facing. They weren't very good at showing off the things that they actually do. Right? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? However, they were doing a lot of stuff, right? Where the Trump administration in his first term did a great job of carrying that folder around, right? They looked real
Okay.
busy. They didn't really do much, right? That wasn't his first term. This one, they're doing a whole bunch of stuff. Just most of that stuff is not good.
Yeah, and like I said, I agreed. His first term, I agreed with him more about what he was trying to do. His second term, not as much, right? And again, in both elections, there was independent candidates that I'd rather see win, but I didn't see it feasible because everybody in the country was talking about, or at least everybody that I heard from or saw on YouTube or whatever, we're talking about, well, Kamala is bad for this reason or Trump is bad for this reason, right? So just reasonable deduction, right? Trump or Kamala was going to win, and my vote towards an independent candidate was, well, null and void.
Right. I understand that. Look, here's the thing about Kamala Harris. Like I said, I don't know if she would have been the best president in the world. Okay. I truly don't. Right. I think low end, to be honest with you, she was probably a pretty average president. Right. Like that's what I'll say. All right. But Donald Trump already was president for 4 years and he sucked. He was not a good president the first time. Right. So saying like, hey, we have a president who we know he's already sucked. Right. He's running on nothing. The stuff he is running on, we know that it's going to have negative effects. Like he's ran on tariffs, right? We knew the negative effects of tariffs. Now we're watching the negative effects of tariffs, right? So
yeah,
we had a president that, again, at the worst, probably would have at least preserved democracy, preserved free speech, right? Preserved things like birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment, preserved the Constitution. Right, preserve the economy and kept it moving in the right direction. At worst, right? And Trump is doing the exact opposite. I mean, literally, like truthfully, if she had come in and done nothing, it'd be better than we are right now.
I can agree with that. I was just saying yes and no on it because one of the things that she actually spoke about with Biden on stage was, I will get rid of your weapons and come for your weapons. I'll pass an executive order for it. And Biden even turned to her, that's unconstitutional. Biden even spoke up.
That was
at
the right? That was in 2020. She changed her stance on that.
Fair enough, and people can change their stances. It's
not
just
that she doesn't even have
one of the few things that just sticks
she doesn't even she first of all, that's not what she said. She was talking about mandatory versus voluntary buybacks. She never said I will come for your weapons. Okay, she never said that.
I was paraphrasing.
Yeah, but
I wasn't trying to throw words in her mouth. That's
a big difference though. That is a big difference between voluntary and mandatory buybacks, and the difference between that and I'm coming for your weapons. Those are two very, very different things.
A mandatory buyback would be coming for your weapons. Is that correct?
Right, but I'm saying like she wasn't even running on a mandatory buyback. She was running on a voluntary buyback program that I think hold on. Actually, that's actually incorrect too. The mandatory buybacks things was in 2016. By the time she ran for president in 2020, she was already talking about voluntary buybacks, and I don't even think she ran on voluntary buybacks in this presidency.
I don't think she did either, but again, it's something that they've stated in the past, and it just stuck in.
Donald
my
Trump
mind
also
somehow.
said that we're going to come for your guns before, like, if you're even suspected of a crime before.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
So like, we're still talking. Like, I mean, that's something he said recently.
Yeah, and I disagree with that in general. Like, I think the Constitution, the Founding Fathers were a hell of a lot smarter than a lot of people nowadays.
No, they weren't. They were dumb as shit.
You're welcome to your opinion on that. And I think that they had the foresight to write the Constitution in a way that was generalized enough to last hundreds of years, right? And I think that it should be, yes, amended here and there, but I do think that for the most part, or not even for the most part, our freedoms need to stay, right? If something needs to be added as another freedom, yeah, that needs to be added.
I just don't. Can I just ask you this question? What makes you think that these random people that started this country were somehow like fortune tellers?
Well, I don't think that they're fortune tellers. I think that because they fought a tyrannical government, they wrote what they wrote to give the people more power compared to the government. So it was another check and a balance. So there wasn't tyranny again in this country.
Sir, you having your weapons is not stopping tyranny in this country. Okay. And when they wrote the Second Amendment, which again was not written originally as part of the Constitution, that was an amendment later, right?
Yes.
They wrote it saying that a well-formed state-ran militia had the ability to have guns. That's what they wrote. Okay.
Well,
the Supreme Court reinterpreted that later, okay, to use it on how people use it now. But if you're saying that the Founding Fathers wrote exactly what they wanted and they had the foresight to fight against a tyrannical government, okay, the Founding Fathers wrote, okay, in order to have a militia, a state-ran militia, the right to bear arms should not be infringed. All right, not that every person should have it, right? That specifically under this circumstance, anyone should be able to have it. The Supreme Court reinterpreted it later. Okay,
what year did they reinterpret it later? Out of curiosity,
there's been multiple reinterpretations. DC versus Keller was one. The Bruin decision was another one. There's been multiple different reinterpretations of the Second Amendment.
You're talking about the initial wording hasn't changed, though, right?
The wording of the Constitution has not changed. The interpretation of those words has changed.
Well, the only reason it's changed is because regulated at that time had a different definition. I can't remember the definition. I think it meant well trained. I can't remember. So please don't quote that on me. No, I mean at that time when it was initially written.
So
right?
for
words have changed definitions over the years.
From just before 1800 when the Second Amendment was written until literally like 1970 something. This was not the interpretation of the Second Amendment. Okay, this is a recent reinterpretation of the Second Amendment. Okay, this is a recent thing. Okay,
well,
in which we think about it the way we did. So
yeah,
and that's fine. Like I'm not like it's whatever, right? Like I'm just saying, like if you're going to say that the Founding Fathers had this foresight in order to protect us from a tyrannical government. Okay.
Yes.
Then you need to use. We have to go by what the Founding Fathers said, not the reinterpretation of that recently in courts, right? And if that's the case, then most people in the United States should be giving up their guns right now. Actually, the majority of people, the overwhelming majority, according to the way it was written in the Second Amendment, right?
Well, I disagree with that because of, again, the definitions of the words that they chose to write and the definition that they used, or the definitions for those individual words at that point in time said something different, which actually changes the framework closer to what the Supreme Court ruled in the Bruin decision. But
it did not. Even Justice Scalia said he even said like in that decision that there's absolutely no precedent for this decision. Like he was saying that he was reinterpreting it, not based off the changing of the word regulated. The word regulated meant the same thing back then as it means now. Nothing changed with the interpretation of the word regulated. It just changed how we chose to view it based off of a super right-wing Justice Scalia wanting to change it for his own gain.
And that's fair enough, and I wouldn't doubt that some people are changing things based off their ideologies. My wording is sucking. I hope you understand what I'm trying to get at. Their morals or what they think, right?
Yeah.
But like there's letters that was written by the founding fathers to merchants and just regular citizens stating that because those citizens were asking, can we own, as citizens, own cannons? Can we own the latest technology, the latest weapons? And they responded, yes, you can. You have every right to defend yourself and your property.
Well, then that also goes
not in those exact words, but
well, if that's the case, then literally DC versus Heller says that that's a lie too, because they also said that it is not illegal for the federal government to restrict your right to weapons. The same reason way you can't have, an F-16 or a nuclear bomb at your house, right? Or that the fact that the United States makes regulations on automatic weapons, right? So like
there's no real regulations on automatic weapons. It's more of a class 3 weapons license.
Yes, that's a regulation.
To be able to own them.
That is exactly what that is. That's
okay,
what the regulation
fair
is. But again, DC versus Heller said that is 100% legal.
Right. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying they said too. I get it. I'm just going off of the initial documentation that was written, letters written back and forth. Well, letters written back and forth by people that wrote these rules into place.
And yes, those individuals might have believed that, but that is not what they put in the Constitution.
Fair enough, and I understand, and I trust me. I wish that they would have expanded on it more to where it was more clear as to what they were trying to get at, right? But I do think that it was a good thing that they did not, so we are left to interpret it the way we need in that era.
Oh, they were very clear.
Okay.
They were very clear. They even quantified it.
Okay.
Yeah. They were very clear. All right. And let me let's go ahead and pull it up. They were like, let's see how clear we can get. We need to make sure under certain circumstances this happens. They don't start it with the right to bear arms should not be infringed. They don't even start it with that.
Yeah, they end it with that.
Right, because they're trying to be clear from the get-go. What is the first thing it says? A well-regulated militia.
Yes.
The Second Amendment is about a well-regulated militia. This is why it starts it like that. Okay?
Okay.
Being necessary for the security of a free state, not to free individuals.
Insane.
Okay? So that states can have their individual rights to freedoms.
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The right of the people to keep and bear arms, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma,
shall not,
comma, shall not be infringed. Okay? So the way that comma works there, it actually is saying a well-regulated militia shall not be infringed. That is what it is saying.
Because you're skipping the portion about the people, because if they wanted it to be only the militia, they would have left the people out. Right?
No, they're just using that part of that parentheses the way the English language works, right? We say, hey, this part, and then we comma it to describe what we're talking about, and then at the end of the comma, we then finish off what we were talking about. That is the original part of the sentence. Okay?
Yes, I understand, but what I'm saying is, and I'm not debating about the comma, I was just saying leaving the people in there makes it seem, and it goes with what their letters state, that the people, as well as a militia, have the right to own those weapons.
No,
right?
The people, in order to have a militia, have the right to have weapons. Right? That'd be like saying, this Gatorade, okay, being blue, shall not be taken out of my hand. Okay? Does that mean that my hand is blue? Or that my hand shall be blue? No, I'm just using blue as a descriptor of the bottle, right? A well-regulated militia. Now let's describe that well-regulated militia. Being necessary to a free state. Perfect. We need to make sure that we need the militia is for the security of a free state. I am describing the militia. The right of the people, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Okay, which is describing the militia. This is what the militia is. It's the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Shall not be infringed. The militia shall not be infringed.
Right.
not to keep and bear arms again. And that is the way that the Second Amendment was interpreted in this country for the large majority of the history until the last like 50 years.
Fair enough.
It's
Okay.
insane.
So
regulated did change
It did not.
definitions, by the way.
it did not.
Well, in 1776, the definition of well-regulated meant well-functioning, properly disciplined, well-organized, and well-trained.
Correct. That's what it means now.
Right.
That doesn't change. That didn't change. That's a well-regulated militia would be all of those things right now too.
Fair enough. I disagree with you, but I mean, I kind of expected that we were going to disagree on
It's
things.
insane.
Look, and sir, that's not even saying that I even agree with the interpretation completely or that I'm saying this or that about it. All I'm saying is the idea that somehow, we have this intrinsic right to have a gun is crazy. It's an insane thought. Do I believe that people should be able to protect themselves? Do I believe that people should be able to hunt? Do I believe that in all those things? Yes, I 100% do agree with those things, right? 100%
Okay.
I do. Okay. But making this idea that just because, okay, this reinterpretation of the Second Amendment, okay, means that we cannot put in laws within our country in order to make freaking gun deaths not the number one cause of a preventable cause of death amongst children in the United States is ridiculous. Okay, it is ridiculous. Okay, we should be able to make laws in this country, okay, that restrict the rights of firearms in order to protect children. That's crazy. And here's the crazy thing: if we just did that, then people would still be able to have their guns. And also, children wouldn't be dying. Like it's not like this like super difficult like out of this way thing, right? Like it is simply just if we stop trying to reinterpret this law, okay, in order to mean that, like some people in this country have said, there are a certain amount of deaths that should be okay. We just have to expect in this country in order to have a Second Amendment right is crazy. Okay.
Yeah, and I understand. And some people's standpoints on it, I disagree on both sides of the aisle, okay? I mean, hell, I still am under the belief, and I'm going to tell you what I believe as far as the Second Amendment, but I wouldn't go after it just because I don't want to go against the Constitution itself. I think, honestly, the only people that should be able to own firearms are people that served in the military, served this country, until they're proven to be basically defective, okay? Where they are going to harm themselves or other people, right? Or police forces, right? Or federal employees that have had mandatory training through their jobs, right? That's what I've always believed. I don't think the average citizen should own firearms. But I'm not going to go against what the Constitution says, right? I'm not going to go break the Constitution.
Well, that's not breaking the Constitution. So that's perfect. But anyways, hey, I'm going to move on to the next caller because I've been on the phone with you for a while. But I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday, all right?
I hope you do the same. All right. Have a good evening.
Bye. Yeah. I think we should be a lot more worried about a lot of other breakings of the Constitution that are happening right now. Yo, did I not say Saturday? Did I not say Saturday? Fair enough. Fair enough. Y'all make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, do that. Thank you. Please turn on notifications if you haven't done that already too. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. We're going to move on to the next caller. We're gonna hit up a few super chats, guys. If you'd like to support the live, I do have super chats open. I like to read them in between callers. I'm going to hit up the ones from that last caller right now. So I really appreciate that. So thank you so much to help support the live. Or please consider becoming a member or a subscriber or any of those awesome things. Also, I do have all of my pay links in my bio: Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all at Polypolitics, just like my name, not the 1.0 for the people on YouTube. Greg said, "Hey man, loving the streams. Keep up the good work. Hope you're having a good day. Much love." Thank you so much, Greg. I really, really appreciate that. Daniel, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says $100K per year fine. H-1B slave market is cooked for Elon Jeff Bezos. I'm Airman, knew he was Army as well. You can just pick him out. You can just pick them out. It's crazy. Thank you so much, Daniel. Oh, and Daniel again with the $10 says, do not wish to call in, but I would like your opinion on the Second Amendment intended to protect the First Amendment and foreign and domestic terrorism. I think this was actually sent before that last comment, which is crazy. I think I kind of led into that, which is crazy. Daniel again, Republicans want free labor. Democrats want votes from welfare recipients so that they can steal money. Seems the same game. That's weird. I'm not sure about that one. Daniel again. Can we get big W's to chat for Daniel? Daniel's freaking lighting up. Daniel's lighting up the super chats right now. Can we get big W's to chat for Daniel? Daniel said the Second Amendment is meant to knock out governments. Of the course, the government is going to make sure it can't happen. That's also very weird. Okay, because I think it's kind of strange that people are like, it's the same people that are like so super Second Amendment are totally 100% okay with Donald Trump breaking the Constitution. So I don't really understand where that's coming from. You know what I'm saying? Daniel says he also says the Second Amendment is the right to self-defense against the government. I know that's what people like. I know that's like what the whole like don't tread on me crowd is. But again, like, no offense, but like the military has like howitzers and F-35s, right? And like V2s. I just don't think you have a chance, really. Okay? Like, again, back then, there might have been a possibility that, you know, it was moved to like protect you. Like when you had a musket and that's what the army had too, maybe that kind of makes sense. Okay? But we're not there anymore. We just don't, we don't get it anymore. Anyways. Stacy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. So the government is tyrannical now. Why aren't the Gravy Seals assembling now to rise up and save us? Still kind of wondering that myself. Not really sure. Thank you so much, Stacy. I appreciate that. Itzy said, love your content. What do you think about Trump saying he was the least racist person in his debate with Joe Biden? That is a wild thing to say. Donald Trump is not the least racist person in a room full of racists. So I don't really know how that's possible. Which he actually generally is in a room full of racists. So there's that. Thank you. It's in Y. There we go. Frost King, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Just says Kitty. Safari was in here earlier. I did see that. And Ogden, thank you so much. It says, it is somewhat amusing listening to MAGA callers try to get a ridiculous one up on you, only to be hit with real facts. Polyfacts, keep educating. Big W's to chat from Ogden for just my favorite super chat of that one. I really appreciate that too. Thank you guys so much. All right, we're going to move on to the next caller. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we're going to keep this thing going. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the corals I've seen too. Delina, thank you for that. Lindsay, thank you for that coral. I really appreciate those also. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. What about yourself? Just got your stream.
Doing well. How old are you?
I'm about 20.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
No, sir.
No? Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm only looking for Trump supporters right now, but I do appreciate you.
We can't have a little passionate debate because we are in line with each other on a lot of terms, but I feel like you're not thinking radical enough.
Oh, no, I'm good.
All right. Well, I want to interrupt your plans for your stream. Have a good one, buddy.
Thank you, you too. No, I'm just good. I'm cool with staying on this side of radical. Yeah, I figured it was going to be an accelerationalist. So I can never say that word. Why can't I say that word? Hello, how are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How old are you?
About 29.
All right. Do you still support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Fair enough. What's on your mind?
Well, first thing I want to say, I like what you're doing here, just having conversations with people. Like, I can really appreciate that because after what's been happening nowadays, it's really sad that
It's
people.
insane.
It's really sad what people are doing.
Yeah, it is. I do agree.
Yeah.
I do agree. So what's on your mind, man? Why do you still support Trump?
Oh, I like what he's been doing with down at the border. I like what he's been doing with the economy.
What's he doing with the economy that you like?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I got interrupted with something. What do you need?
Guys, we need one more
coral. I'm sorry.
Get the one more coral. What's he doing with the economy that you like?
Oh, the jobs. Jobs. The hell. God damn it. Well, that's one of the main things I can think of right now because I just saw this and I just wanted to see if I could get a hold of you, and I surprisingly did.
Yeah, you did. Jobs are not doing well in the United States. You do know that, right?
Are they?
They are not. No, jobs are not good at all. We've had like the worst job numbers since COVID.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest things for me was down at the border, trying to get that sealed off and getting all the fentanyl and drugs slowed down, and so far it looks like that's been going pretty well.
You do know that we had A, record high, fentanyl seizures under the Biden administration, and B, that 90% of fentanyl seizures at the southern border happen from U.S. citizens, right? You're all spicy, thank you.
Where are you getting those numbers from?
From Customs and Border Protection.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 90% of fentanyl seizures at the southern border happen at ports of entry from U.S. citizens.
How about the stuff he's been doing overseas with all these deals he's been making with the countries?
I thought you were talking about him shooting little tiny fishing boats outside of Venezuela.
That's an open water, or I think that's what it's called.
International water?
International water. There's the word I couldn't think of.
Yeah, that doesn't make it better.
Well, I'd rather have that happen than have a bunch of people here in the U.S. die.
Sure, they were 1,500 to 2,000 miles away from the U.S. in a boat that could not reach here.
You know where they were coming, though.
No, I didn't. That seems like actually the least effective way to carry drugs here. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
yeah. If I am personally, like I've never trafficked or anything like that, so I can't say that I really know what I'm doing. Okay. But personally for me, okay, I wouldn't pack 14 people on a 20-foot boat 2,000 miles away from the U.S. if my goal was to get drugs to the U.S. But again, that's just me. And my knowledge of this only comes from like watching like Narcos on Netflix, okay? And I did watch a few episodes of Gangland too. All right. But that's just me. That's not how I would do things.
Well, I'm sure they had some intel on it. I mean, they're not just going to blow a random boat out of the water for no reason.
Yeah, they asked Trump about that. Did you see it?
I did, but I can't remember exactly what he
Yeah,
said.
they asked him how they knew it was a drug boat, right?
Yeah.
And he said because you could see white on the infrared camera.
Well,
It's
I'm sure there's
insane.
more to it than that. Maybe
No, that's what he
they don't
said.
always report.
They said, "Do you have any evidence that this is a drug boat?" And he said, "Here's your evidence right in front of you. It's because there's white on the infrared camera."
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well. Oh shit! I think my phone's about to die. I'm gonna have to let you go. My phone's just about ready to die. I'm sorry to waste your time.
No,
But
you didn't waste my time.
But I do like what you're doing here. Just talking to people, because after what happened with Charlie Kirk, it's insane what's happening to this country.
I do 100% agree that open dialogue is very important.
Yeah, and it's just really sad seeing all these people that are making fun of him and promoting all this violence, and it needs to stop.
I 100% do not agree with people making fun of Charlie Kirk or his family or promoting violence in any way, shape, or form. I think that is absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was probably one of the main issues I wanted to bring up, just to talk about you, or just to talk to you about.
Yes, political violence, especially political violence for this type of thing, is never acceptable. Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to move on to the next caller, but I hope you have a wonderful day. All right.
You too, man.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, we're definitely gonna keep going on that, right? And keep moving forward. Deep Dish, thank you so much for the $2. Preach me, brother. Thank you so much for the $2, Deep Dish. Appreciate that. And Daniel back with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that, Daniel. I really appreciate that. W's in the chat for Daniel for the $20 super chat. That's absolutely huge. Says, I voted Obama first time. No hope or change. He couldn't fix one black city. Voted 3 times, jumped 3 times, and am disappointed how much money laundering is legal for both sides. You can't make a sane person voter for Kamala, sane person vote for Kamala or AOC. I 100% could get a sane person to vote for Kamala Harris or AOC. Those people are both quite sane. Okay. And Obama did a lot of great stuff. Now, did Obama do everything perfectly? Absolutely, he did not. Also, I didn't vote for Obama to fix black cities. Okay. That's not what Obama was for. Okay. Obama made it very clear when he was running that he was not the president of black America or white America, that he was the president for all Americans, right? Something that Donald Trump seems to forget on a daily basis, right? But that's not what Obama was here for. Okay. Obama was here to try to bring us out of a horrible economic disaster in the 2008, housing bubble crash, 2008 recession. That's what he was here for. He was there to bring things like healthcare, like the ACA. Okay. And Obama did a whole bunch of really great stuff. All right. And while I do wish that, Obama had, concentrated on trying to create a little bit more equity for black Americans in this country. Okay. He also was the first black president, and I think we were just he was trying to make sure that he showed and did the best job he could to show that that black people were just as capable of being president as anybody else. And if you look at all the presidents that we've had, or both the presidents that we've had since Obama, I think that anybody with any type of logic would take Obama back in a fucking heartbeat over Biden or Trump. Okay. So was he perfect? No. I still think he did a great job.
Insane.
I still think he did a great job. Daniel, I don't think Obama screwed us. I think Obama did a great job. Again, if you look at his economic numbers when he left, and the economic numbers when he got there after that, and the economic numbers by the time he got out of office, they were night and day. Absolutely amazing. I think he did great. And things like the ACA were great. So I don't think he screwed us at all. Yo, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Quantum, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that. I don't know. Heathen, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. I really, really appreciate that. W's in the chat for Heathen for the $50 super chat. Said, by the way, where is Charlie Kirk's mom and dad in all this? I don't know. I don't know anything about this because is his mom and dad still? Are they still with us? Are they okay? I don't know what's up with his mom and dad. Is that something I should be concerned about? I don't know anything about this. I just truly don't. I don't. Maybe there was some significance to this, but I don't know what it is. So if anybody has any information on that, then that's fine. But I hope they're doing okay, and nobody deserves to lose a child. Period. Have they publicly spoken out? I have not heard Charlie Kirk's parents speak out at all. If they have, I missed it. But if they have, and somebody knows anything that they've said, I don't know. But thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Nobody deserves to lose a kid. I don't. Regardless, as a father, nobody deserves to lose their kid. And especially nobody deserves to watch their kid get killed on television. That's fucking horrible. So, just truth of the matter. That's the way I feel. So, yeah. People making a big, but Heathen, really, thank you for that $50 super chat. That is absolutely huge. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll be keeping my ear open to see if they come out and say anything. All right, phone lines are back open. I really appreciate that. We're going to keep this thing moving. Thank you guys so much. How long have I been on? Almost 2 hours? I'm still cruising. Are you guys still down for some more? I'm still cruising. I'm still good to go if we still got people here. Let's keep this thing going. Y'all on TikTok, can we get this thing up to 200,000 likes? I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
24.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Not sure.
What do you mean not sure?
So I'm not gonna lie, I did vote for Trump. I did, but I see what's going on with like the tariffs and everything, and I don't know. So I don't agree with what happened to Charlie Kirk. I don't think he should have died, but I don't really like how Trump said he's trying to take like legal action over everybody. I don't really like that.
That Trump said he's trying to take over what over everybody? Sorry, I missed that.
I'm pretty sure he said something along the lines of like he's coming after people because of this, and it's kind of scary.
Oh yeah. Well, let's also be really clear on this, okay? And this is something that JD Vance and his cronies have, people with the Heritage Foundation and all that sort of stuff. This was before Charlie Kirk's thing, right? They had already said that they were trying to find ways to take money away from left-leaning sources, right? You know, like the whole like George Soros thing and all the the people that fund, Democratic candidates and stuff like that. They've been trying to find a way to demonetize them, to pull away money from them. And it seems like they're kind of using this as a crux to do something that they had already talked about. Right. Mm-hmm. So when he talks about like going after people, going after Democrats, going after the left over this sort of stuff, and how they immediately did it before they even knew who committed the crime, that is literally just their way of doing what they were already trying to do, which is try to defund left-leaning sources and left-leaning donors. And they're using this as that ability to do so. So it's truly a violation of the it's super partisan and a violation of the First Amendment to try to do things like taking away, like, trying to use the FCC commissioner to try to take Kimmel off the air or Colbert and stuff like that, right?
I did see that happened with Kimmel and stuff. I didn't always agree with what Kimmel said, but it's just crazy seeing all this stuff. It's crazy. People are losing their jobs over all sorts of stuff with it too. It's insane.
I completely and look, as somebody who does this, 6 days a week, and
it's insane,
and who has a platform where I can come up and talk and have dialogue with people and stuff like that. I of course don't think that it's right for the federal government to be stepping in, stopping people from being able to have discourse or to say what they want, right? Like again, this is like the third time this year that I've agreed with Tucker Carlson, okay? which just feels wrong. All right? Like cuz I truly do not like Tucker Carlson, but even he's coming out right now against people like Pam Bondi and stuff like that, talking about how they're going after people and prosecuting people for saying this and saying that and stuff like that. And even Charlie Kirk's like, you can't do that. That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, even Tucker Carlson said that.
Yeah, no, I did see that. No, I agree 100%. It's just crazy. And like, I voted for Trump for one reason, really. So, the one reason why I did vote for Trump, I'll be honest, I felt like Trump never tried to take God out of America. And let me explain what I mean by this. So, I'm very heavy in my faith. Some things I saw the Biden-Harris administration do, I didn't necessarily agree with all the time. Now, keep in mind, freedom of speech is a big deal, but I didn't really like it the one time when Kamala said, in America, we don't celebrate Merry Christmas. I didn't really agree with that point of her. I didn't really like that. That's just my personal preference. And the only reason why I really voted for Trump was because I felt like it was more aligned, because I've never heard Trump say anything like that, unless I missed something.
Yeah, because Trump, I don't know what Trump says and what he doesn't say, but we're not a Christian nation, right? We're a nation of free religion in this country, right? And so we celebrate Merry Christmas, we celebrate Happy, Hanukkah, we celebrate Kwanzaa, we celebrate whatever religious holiday, whatever the Christmas is for the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. If you're a Pastafarian, in this country, you have the right to practice your religion, regardless of what your religion is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's important, right?
Yeah, that was a big point for me and stuff. And I just want everybody to get along. I mean, one of my favorite songs is "Man in the Mirror" by Michael Jackson. I wish we could get to a point in the world where we're like that, but it seems like we're kind of far from that, unfortunately. You know what I mean? I just wish people would look at themselves and realize they need to change. It starts with yourself, essentially. Change isn't going to happen unless you essentially look at yourself in the mirror and want to make a change.
Right, but we're talking about change. There's a difference between change as a person and change as a country, right?
True.
And when we have change as a country, when you have a president like Donald Trump who sows division, okay, we're not going to get better as a country. We're just going to get worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the things that you're talking about, blaming the left for an assassination before we even knew who it was, right? That sows division. Calling the left a domestic terrorist group sows division, right? Saying that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country, they're vermin poisoning the blood of our country, that sows division, right? Attacking trans people and gay people sows division. Those are the things that bring us further apart as a country. Okay, and it's the exact opposite policies of that. Rhetoric, again, from people like Kamala Harris and people like Barack Obama that bring us together by saying, "Hey, we're all in this together. Let's push forward."
Mm-hmm. And sorry, I didn't mean to try to cut you off there. I was talking and you were talking. I apologize for that. I didn't try to interrupt you.
You're fine.
But no, I agree. And I would never do that. I would never blame a Democrat for what happened to Charlie Kirk. What happened to Charlie Kirk was an unfortunate thing. I don't agree with people pushing that rhetoric. I don't really like that. It's a terrible thing that happened. I think that guy just hated Charlie Kirk and he shot him. I think hate is what got Charlie Kirk killed. And Charlie Kirk was just doing what he thought was right. His freedom and stuff like that. And it's just a shame. I feel so bad for his wife, his kids, and his family and stuff. And at the end of the day, that guy can be forgiven for what he did. It's just that act of what he did is terrible.
Yeah, you can choose to forgive, I guess, whoever you want, unless you're talking from a religious basis in which God forgives everybody, which is also really weird. But regardless of any of that, man, like I said, this is a horrible thing. I feel bad for his parents. I feel bad for his kids. And that's a really horrible thing. But yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna move on to the next caller, and we're gonna so I can keep this thing going. But I hope you have a good day. All right.
Hey, you have a great day too. Nice talking to you.
All right, we're going to move on to the next person. So I guess I do have a few super chats hit up. Quantum, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. That real Christians hate Trump, equality for all. Amen to that. Can I get an amen for that? I need amens in the chat for that right now. Jeremy, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says, what is the Democratic obsession with exploiting people for manual labor that they don't want to do? They started a war over it, opened the borders for it. How can you defend this? First of all, there was never an open border policy, so please stop with that. Second of all, literally, traditionally, the right was the one that was freaking pro-immigration for that exact reason. This is only something that the rhetoric has changed because the right has been trying to change it just within the last 10 years. Remember Obama was the deporter in chief? Did you forget that? This is a recent thing where people are trying to use this rhetoric that the left is pro-immigration. Let's be very clear. The Biden administration deported more undocumented immigrants just last year than Trump will do this year. What are you talking about? Okay? You need to read a history book. Okay? Turn off Fox News. All right, and read a history book on which side supports business and which businesses support freaking forced labor. Give me a break. Okay, Jesus Christ, doesn't even make any sense. Anyways, I'm still. You know what? I've been doing this every year all the time for 2 years. Is someone gonna show me the open border policy? I'll wait still. 2 years, people have been telling me that Biden had an open border policy, and I have yet to see one piece of legislation, one executive order, one anything that has been open border. So when you guys find it, you guys let me know, okay? You guys, when someone finds it, someone let me know. So let me know, all right? Daniel Edmonds says, Dems and reps are willing to die in their corner, I guess. Neither party represents the civilian anymore. Men can't get pregnant. All right, that's weird. I'm not even a Democrat. You know that, right? Whatever. And Dan, Jimmy had the balls to call a trans a magus. I don't even know where Daniel's digressing. Thank you for the $10. I think you're sundowning, man. You're losing it. You're losing it. Cool, Daniel. Show me where there was a catch and release policy. I'll wait. Show me the policy where there was catch and release. I'll wait. Hello, how are you?
Hi, my name's Ken.
Hi, Ken. How old are you?
I'm 55 now.
Awesome. Do you support Trump still?
I'd support him over the Democrats.
I'm not asking whether you support him over the Democrats. I'm asking if you support him still.
I don't really support anybody, but I stand behind the president.
Why?
I stand behind him because to me, it makes a lot more sense than the other side does.
I'm not asking you about the other side.
Yeah, I used to be a lot more on his side, but as of the Charlie Kirk thing, that's getting weirder and weirder, so I don't know where I stand anymore. I do believe in the Second Amendment, where if you don't have individuals carrying guns, you can never form a militia to begin with. That's an impossibility.
Yeah, the way that the militia was supported in order to have a free state, it's like a National Guard, and we still very much have National Guards regardless.
I'd have to do a lot more research. I'm sorry for wasting your time today. You have a good day.
You too. I'd like to quote Teddy Roosevelt before I move on to the next caller. I do love this whole quote. It's such a great quote. Teddy Roosevelt, 1918. The president is merely the most important among a large number of public servants. He should be supported or opposed exactly to the degree which is warranted by his good conduct or bad conduct, his efficiency or inefficiency in rendering loyal, able, and disinterested service to the nation as a whole. Therefore, it is absolutely necessary that there should be a full liberty to tell the truth about his acts, and this means that that it is exactly necessary to blame him when he does wrong as to praise him when he does right. Any other attitude in an American citizen is both base and servile. To announce that there must be no criticism of the president, or that we are to stand by the president, right or wrong, is not only unpatriotic and servile, but is morally treasonable to the American public. Nothing but the truth should be spoken about him or anyone else. But it is even more important to tell the truth, pleasant or unpleasant, about him than anyone else. I feel like I should get that tattooed on me. Like, I'm not even, like, dude. I feel like I should get that tattooed on me. Goodness gracious. Too long? No, dude, people get like freaking half of Psalms tattooed on them. That's not too long. Just small writing. Hello, how are you?
How's it going?
It's going well. How old are you?
39.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yeah, for the most part, I do.
Awesome. What's on your mind?
Not much. I heard you claiming that there was no open border policy, and
sure. What was the
there
open
might not
border
have been a
policy?
Yeah, it might not have been written down, but 15 million people at least coming through in 4 years.
That's not true.
Call it what you want.
Well, that's not true.
How is it not true? Yeah, it probably was more.
No, it's not. I mean, are you talking about just border encounters, or are you talking about people that are actually in the United States?
Actually, in the United States.
Yeah, over
It's
the last
largest
50
mass movement of people.
Yeah,
in human
over
history.
the last 50 years, we have 14 million people in this country.
Dude,
Over the last 50 years.
They've had the same number static since like 2010.
That's not true. The
At
number
like
was
10 million
literally
illegals in the country.
the literal number went up 2 million just in 2023.
No.
The number has
They've
consistently
been claiming
changed.
that there's the same amount of illegals in the country. for
That's
like
not
15
true,
years.
sir. I have multiple different researchers from Customs and Border Protection, from Center for Immigration Control, from Pew Research Center, from Cato Institute, which is like even right leaning, and none of them say that those numbers are correct. That number that you're speaking of, and again, even that number is incorrect, would be of border encounters according to the Customs and Border Protection.
So you're trying to claim that there was a mass border crossings in the last
There
few
was
years,
mass
more
border
than we've ever seen.
crossings, sir. That's why I asked you, are you talking
And
about
they were
border
being allowed
encounters?
into the country.
So no, they weren't, sir.
Yes, they
That's why I
were.
asked you about the difference between border encounters, okay, and people that are actually in the country, okay, and the difference between a border encounter for
They
somebody
weren't
that was
turning them
removed.
around.
Yes, there
Everybody
were. There
was
was
just claiming asylum.
There were 685,000 people that were turned around at the southern border just in
That's
2024.
not enough.
Sir, that was the majority of people that came to the border. 60% of people that even tried to seek asylum at the country were turned around immediately.
You know you're lying.
Sir, Customs and Border Protection has all of these numbers in black and white. I can pull them up. I can put them on the screen.
you
Which
can
one
see
would
it.
you
They
like?
Skyrocket. And
Which-
now they're down at the lowest levels in a long,
I didn't say
long
they
time.
weren't at the lowest levels. I didn't say they didn't. I didn't
You're
say
trying
they.
to make the
Sir,
claim that
I didn't
everybody that
say
was
that.
coming to the border was just getting turned around.
No,
You
I
know that's
didn't.
not
I didn't
true.
make that claim at all. I just told you that the number of undocumented immigrants in this country went up 2 million just in 2023.
There is way more than so you want to say only 2 million people got in this country in the last 4 years?
Sir, do you know what 2023 means when I say that?
I understand what.
Then
a
I am
year
saying
is,
that 2 million undocumented immigrants came in 2023.
Okay, what about the
So what?
last
So
4 years?
so if
And
I
it's
say,
not 2 million.
sir, if
and 2
I
million
say
is crazy,
sir,
by the way.
if I say 2 million in 2023, how do you then take that as? Oh, are you saying only 2 million came in over 4 years? How does
'Cause you just
that?
keep
How
saying
does
2
that?
million. I keep saying 4 years. You keep saying 2023.
Yeah, because I was just talking about that year. Right now, our estimates probably show us around like 4 million undocumented immigrants that came in under the Biden administration.
That
3 to
is
4 million.
absolutely untrue.
Well, it is absolutely
You
true,
know
and I
that's
have
not true.
again data to back it across multiple different freaking sources.
Yeah. Nobody. I mean, the election showed you that nobody believes you.
Sir,
one of
sir,
the top issues during the election.
sir, someone's belief in the data does not change the data. Okay? Let me explain to you what happened. Okay? And I'll explain to you what happened because I watch it all the time, right? Because I watch Fox News. I watch all this sort of stuff, right?
I don't even watch Fox News.
I do. And so I know where all of this stuff comes from. Right? So what happens is someone on the right, usually somebody like on Fox News or Alex Jones or somebody on whatever, Ben Shapiro, whatever, they say there was 15 million people that entered this country under the Biden administration. And then they show a chart, right? And that chart has a link on the bottom. And nobody clicks the link. I click the link. Okay? And then I click the link and it takes you directly to Customs and Border Protection's website, right? And which it shows that 15 million is the number of border encounters that happened. Okay? Which, when we're talking about border encounters, we're talking about people that crossed the border, even if they crossed at a port of entry, even if they had a visa, even if they had, if they were seeking asylum and actually were let into the country, even if they were deported, even if they were, repatriated, any of the circumstances that happens to someone after they cross the border, okay? That is the number they're giving you. They're not giving you the number of people that actually are in the country. They're not giving you the number of the people of those encounters that maybe have crossed the border illegally, but are actually here now legally, right? Under some sort of visa program, asylum program, refugee program, any of those things. They're not telling you that part. They're just selling that this is the amount of people that the Border Patrol stopped and encountered at the southern border. I personally, and you can tell me if you disagree, okay, don't care about that number. I care about the number of people that are in this country illegally because those are the people that haven't had background checks ran on them. Those are the people that we have a hard time tracking. Those are the people that we don't know if they're cartel members or criminals or whether they have a criminal record and stuff like that. Okay, but here's my, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you just care about every encounter we've had at the border. I care about the people that are actually still in this country that we do not have tracking for.
I care about both.
Gotcha. So you care.
The encounters that were happening at the border, they weren't all just getting turned around. Basically, none of them were. I mean,
sir, that is a lie. That is a lie. That is sir. That doesn't even make fucking sense.
Yes, it does.
No, because if I'm saying, sir, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. I asked you, my statement was, I care about the people that are in this country.
Yes, and I said I care about both.
Yeah, then you just described people in this country only.
No, the people that are here illegally, I care about that. They all need to get the hell out.
Sir,
and then the people that are getting encountered at the border, they need to be kept out. They
sir,
don't need to be able to
listen to me, sir. You are trying so hard to fight me. Sir, you are trying so hard to fight me that you're not even listening to what I'm saying. No, you aren't. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the question again so maybe you can understand it this time. Okay? I said that I care about the people that are in this country, not the people that were just encountered at the border and then turned away. Okay? You said nobody was turned away. They were all let in. So again, you're agreeing with me, sir, about that you only care about the people that are in this country, not the people that were turned away. We're just having a disagreement on how many people were let into the country.
Yeah, I'm basically saying I care about the people that are in the country, but I was also talking about the encounter. We were talking about the encounters. How you were acting like all the numbers are just encounters. I mean,
I didn't say all the numbers are just encounters. I gave you a number of undocumented immigrants that are in the country.
Don't include
what,
the gotaways.
Sir? What number? Yes, it does. The projected number includes gotaways. Sir, literally, sir. Exactly. That's why all of our numbers are projected.
Yeah, but I'm still saying,
sir, all of the numbers I'm talking about, all of the numbers I'm talking about with undocumented immigrants in the country are gotaways. All of them. That's all of what I'm talking about. Those are the only people I'm talking about right now.
So we agree that they all need to get the hell out then, right?
No, we don't agree with that at all. We're having a conversation about whether or not there was an open border policy. Okay? There was not.
Why did they all stop coming? If there was
Why did they all start coming? Because the
understood policy that they are going to be allowed into the country.
No, it was because of the destabilization of the Northern Triangle.
Why'd they stop now?
Why'd they stop now? Because Donald Trump has literally shut down any freaking legal or immigration whatsoever at ports of entry.
So you see the difference here. Under Biden, they were rushing the border. Thousands
but
of people
at the
were coming to the
beginning.
border. So you can call it not open
Hold on, no, at the
border
beginning.
policy, but now there's
Hold
a
on,
guy
sir.
that they know
At
are
the
not gonna let them in.
beginning.
It was the whole time.
No, it wasn't. By the time Biden left office, the amount of border encounters at the southern border were less than the average under Donald Trump's first term.
The rhetoric of the border crossing started ramping up towards the campaign season, and that's when Biden started saying, and the Democrats in general started saying that they had tried to push through a legislation, and they had bipartisan backing.
Here's why I think. Can I just be really clear? Can I just be really clear?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't understand the right at all. And maybe you can explain this to me. Okay? Maybe you can explain this to me. And I'm just going to be frank about it, okay?
Okay.
Your guys' argument is so fucking stupid, and I don't understand why you make it. Okay? And here's why. Okay? And I just want you to explain this to me.
Want borders.
No, I don't want
want
you to explain
borders.
it because you haven't let me explain why I think it's stupid.
That's not stupid.
Okay? You don't know what I'm saying. So you don't even know what I'm going to say. So how can you say it's not stupid?
Go ahead.
Okay? Hold on. Sir. Listening is a talent. It is. Patience is a talent. Okay? All right, awesome. Was there a border problem under the Biden administration? Yes, there was. Did we have way too many undocumented immigrants come into the country under the Biden administration? Yes, we did. Okay? Should Biden have done more by executive action in order to friggin' limit the border crossings under his administration? Yes, 100% he should have.
Didn't even.
Okay, listen. Are there less border crossings under the Trump administration than there were under the Biden administration? Yes. All of those are facts that I agree with. Okay? All of those are facts that I agree with. All right? But instead of just taking those facts and using those, because those are actual facts, those are actual things that you can make an argument for, instead of doing that, you take this false information about there being an open border policy. You take this false information about that encounters equaled people in this freaking country. You take all of these completely ridiculous rhetoric that is simply not true, and you try to use that as a way to argue when if you actually just use the facts, you actually have a good argument. Okay? If you would actually just use the facts, you would actually have a good argument. But instead of actually using the facts to make your argument, you are just up here just saying the fucking craziest shit that is not backed by data or any type of information whatsoever. So I just don't understand why you make it. Why do you make an argument that you could easily freaking have a good stance on? Okay, why don't you use the argument where you can actually have a good stance instead of just saying numbers that are not backed by anything and arguing with me about things that you have no data to back?
Are you done?
You see how I'm not talking anymore? That's how you know I'm done.
So you can cherry pick whatever data points that you want to use and call every encounter at the border as in like they were just getting rid of everybody instead of the mass asylum seekers that you were seeing happen and all that. And then the things that you said are facts are basically factual, and those are good arguments, and you will still argue against them and act like it's no big problem that we don't need to secure our borders.
Sir, I literally just said we had a border problem and we need a secure border. I literally just said that. Were you not
if we
listening
had
to
a
the
border
entire point that I
problem,
was just making?
that
Were
is
you
what-
not, hey,
understand
sir,
that's what the
were
right
you
calls
not listening to the
open border
point I
policy
literally
is the
just made?
border issue?
I literally just said we had a problem at the southern border. I literally just said that.
The right calls that open border policy.
But it's
'cause it
not
is a
open border
problem.
policy. The
Then
right can
why
call
did
it
we
whatever.
have a
The
border
right
problem?
can call it bibbity bobbity. They can call it whatever they want. Okay.
Exactly. And
They
even
can
if they
call it whatever.
the
But what they
mumbo
call
jumbo that you
what
just
they
said,
call
it'd
it,
still
sir,
be the same thing.
sir,
So call it open border policy. Call
it's
it mumbo
not an
jumbo,
open
it's still
border
the same
policy.
thing.
There was a destabilization of the Northern Triangle and Northern South
Why?
America due to COVID.
Due to COVID. It wasn't like and
Sir,
during
where's
Biden's
the Northern
campaign,
Triangle?
During Biden's
Where's the
campaign,
Northern
he didn't
Triangle?
say-
Sir, where's the
during
Northern?
Biden's
Where's the
campaign,
Northern Triangle?
Listen,
No,
why
you
can't I
said
say
because
what
of
I'm saying?
COVID and laughed me off. I said because of a destabilization of the Northern Triangle due to COVID. Where's the Northern Triangle?
Not that. I mean, Guatemala, Honduras area
Good. Where's that?
and South America.
Okay. Can you imagine why countries that weren't the most stable economically, when going through a super, super big economic problem like COVID, would cause people to leave those countries en masse?
I don't care about that.
I didn't ask whether you cared about it.
Why
I
would they
asked, sir,
think they can
I
come here?
didn't ask you if you fucking cared. I asked you if you can use some common sense for a second. Just try, okay?
How
And
many
try to
countries
say, and
are
try to
in
answer the question.
between
No, sir.
those countries
Answer
and
the
ours?
question. Answer the
Why did
question.
they stop?
Answer the question. Do you understand how possibly a giant worldwide economic disaster would negatively
Those countries are
affect
already in the
very
economic
poor
disaster
countries?
Before COVID. Those are already poor countries.
Yes, they were already poor countries. I just
Yeah, so
said
why
that.
weren't they coming in the same numbers before Biden?
Oh my God! You
told
see,
them to
this is what
rush
I'm
the
talking.
border?
This is the problem. Okay, this is literally the problem.
Yeah,
Even
you
when
try to blame
even when
everything
I
on
even when
anything
I
that's not
even
correct.
when I agree with this caller that there was a border issue, instead of actually listening to what is actually going on, this guy just wants to fucking argue. Okay, you do. You just want to argue. I asked you a simple, logical question that you are not engaging with. Can you understand how a poor country?
Economic problem during COVID forced people to want to move around. I understand what you're saying. But
Gotcha.
they were already an economic disaster.
I
before
already
that, and they
said
weren't
that.
coming in the
I
same
said,
numbers.
can't you understand how countries that already were not good economically, poor countries, okay, going through a worldwide economic disaster would force people to want to leave those countries? Yes or no?
It's insane.
I can understand that.
Okay,
Why
awesome.
did they pass
So-
through every country and come here, though?
Sir, if you were trying to get out of your poor country, would you stop at another poor country or would you go to the richest, most free country that exists?
I would probably try to go to the richest, most free country that exists that will allow me in, that has a social safety net that will give me money to be here and allow me to live here off the taxpayer dime.
Okay. Well, none of that shit
there
is
was a leader in
true.
charge that-
Okay.
an administration
None
in
of that
charge
was
says
true.
That is not going to happen.
None of that was true. Okay. But you're right. You would go to the most free, most rich country that's available, which is the United States, because this is the closest one that you can get to by land. Okay. So that is why we had a huge increase at our border. All right. It's that simple, okay? Because I know that the right really, really, really wants to believe that poor farmers in Guatemala are really up to date on the president's immigration policy. I know that the right really wants you to think that these people that are literally poor freaking farmers that can't afford to eat are just sitting around on their MacBooks, okay, who also don't
have a
speak
connection
English,
to the
who
world.
also don't speak English, are just researching Biden's immigration
translated.
policy, okay? They're all just sitting there reading it, all right, which doesn't make any fucking
Yes,
sense.
if they have an
But
incentive
sir,
to want to come to America, yes, they
Yes.
will be able to find
yeah,
that information.
100%. 100%. They are just sitting around just typing away, okay? But they literally left their countries to go to America because America is known for these things. And that is why, okay, we had an influx of people to the southern border. The border, why people were being able to sneak in through the border is a couple reasons. One we didn't have enough Border Patrol agents. Okay, we need more funding at the border. Okay, and we need more funding so border. Sir, I'm going to finish my sentence. I would like to finish my sentence. Thank you.
You're lying.
Okay. Oh, you don't think we needed more Border Patrol agents?
I think the Border Patrol agents need to be empowered to do their job.
I agree. Do you think we needed more Border Patrol agents or not?
Now we do once the surge got.
Oh, gotcha. So when the surge was happening, gotcha. So hold on, gotcha. So when the surge was happening, hold on, sir. So when the surge was happening, we didn't need more Border Patrol agents, but now that the surge is over, we need more Border Patrol agents.
As it was, yeah, because we have to get them out of the country now.
Yeah, that makes
all right. More
well, so this guy doesn't want to live on Earth 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish my sentence, okay? What we needed was more Border Patrol agents because, like you said, the problem that we had when it came to the Border Patrol agents is that we had a whole bunch of people that were trying to do things like seek asylum at ports of entry, okay? Which took way too much of our Border Patrol power because they had to process all of the freaking people that were seeking asylum, find out whether they had a valid asylum claim, either repatriate them, deport them back to their countries, or give them a court date and do background checks and allow them in, which then took power away from the Border Patrol agent to be able to actually patrol our border, okay, to be able to stop the so-called gotaways, okay? So we needed more Border Patrol agents to A, be able to process people, and B, to be able to patrol our borders so we stop people from being able to sneak around. Second of all, we actually really needed better border.
You're skipping something.
No, I'm not. Second of all, we needed more better. Sir, I'm not asking your opinion right now. I'm in the middle of speaking.
Yeah, skip by that one.
I wasn't even listening to you. Okay.
That Biden lifted up.
Yeah, I'm not. Sir, this is why I don't want you to speak yet because you're talking about something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Okay.
Yes, that has everything to do.
Okay, well, I will go back to the Remain in Mexico policy after I'm done. Sir, how old did you say you were?
You remember?
No, I do not. How old did you say you were?
What's it matter?
Because you're acting like you're 12 and you do have to be 18 years or older to be on this live. Okay, awesome. The second thing that we needed was actual better immigration laws in this country. Okay, we needed a change to our law, sir. This is your last chance to shut the fuck up.
You're just lying.
How? So you're saying we didn't need better laws in this country?
No.
Okay, you're an idiot then. Be quiet, okay?
You're an idiot.
All right. We needed better laws in this country because, again, okay, the ability for people to come in and seek asylum was vague. And like you stated earlier, sir, we had too many people trying to come here to seek asylum. And the reason why we had more people trying to come here and seek asylum than we should have, probably letting in more people, and we had a vagueness within at our border on how many people we were letting in, is because our asylum law is very vague. Okay, we needed a strengthening of that border law, okay, because our border law was written in the 1970s. Okay, and even Trump agrees with that because Trump was trying to pass better border laws in order to limit that. Okay, so if you don't think we need better border laws, then you go against what Trump says. If you don't think we need more border protection, then you're also going against what Trump says because Trump just passed for more border protection and he said the reason is so we stop another influx from fucking happening and because we need him to process. These are all things that are in Trump's immigration laws. They were also in Biden's immigration laws that the Republicans blocked, and specifically the second one, which Donald Trump stopped specifically. But since you wanted to break my stride to talk about the Remain in Mexico policy, let's also be very, very fucking clear that the Remain in Mexico policy only dealt with legal migrants and not with undocumented migrants, okay?
So what's your distinction between the two?
Between what two?
People coming here legally and undocumented.
Yeah, so people that come here through legal process would be documented. People who come here through non-legal process would be undocumented.
I don't think anybody has a problem. Well, I mean, I do. I'm to the right of Donald Trump. I mean, for the most part, when we're talking about the border issue, we're not talking about the people trying to do it legally, not fake asylum claims.
Yeah, asylum is legal.
Not fake asylum claims.
Fake asylum is not legal, but again, that's why 60% of people that sought asylum at the southern border were immediately turned around and deported, which I already stated to you again earlier in this conversation. Okay, and second of all, if Biden's border bill was passed, okay, under his administration, then we would have added more judges and more staff in order to process asylum seekers faster. So instead of asylum seekers that come here that are led across the border, that are given a court date, instead of them being here for 5 to 6 years before they had a court date, they would have had it within 6 months. Not only that, okay, but Biden's border bill would have also restricted who could come into the country and seek asylum. Okay, so less people would have been allowed in the fucking country to seek asylum to begin with, which would have limited your, in parentheses, fake asylum claims. All of those would have happened if Biden's border bill was passed.
The Biden's border bill included like upping the amount of people before they would even like start turning people away.
Incorrect. It actually reduced the amount of people before they would start turning people away.
It was capping it. I mean, it's been months since that whole.
It did not cap it at anything, sir. It allowed. It said at a.
It did cap it before it took place.
Sir, you just said you don't remember it. So how about you just let me tell you what
I
it said?
do remember portions of it.
Well, then why don't you explain to me what the numbers were?
I don't know them off the top of my head.
I do. Can I say it now?
Yeah. How many per day?
No. Listen, I will explain to you what it said, sir. Don't try to frame it. Cool. What it said was, okay, if at any point in time we had a 4,000 encounter, not people let into the United States, let me be very clear, it was not people let into the United States, it was encounters at the border, okay? If at any point we had an average of 4,000 encounters a day for a week, it would automatically institute, they had the option to do a border shutdown. If it ever reached an average of 5,000 over that week of, again, encounters, not people allowed in the country, border encounters, it would automatically shut down the border immediately. And if at any point in time you had 10,000 encounters in a day, it would automatically shut down the border. What people are forgetting for some reason is that if that bill was, because that bill wasn't passed, the number was, oh, that's right, unlimited. The number was unlimited. There was no limit in which we had an automatic shutdown of the border. This was instituting an ability to shut the border down automatically off a number of encounters. And if the bill was passed the day that the bill was signed, it would have automatically shut down the border because we were already over that average. And because the border bill wasn't passed, we continued to have unlimited encounters at the border, okay, indefinitely.
Well, not indefinitely, because now that a new administration and without that new piece of legislation, it stopped.
That's not what indefinitely means.
Well, I was saying you were saying it was going to happen indefinitely. Well, it didn't happen indefinitely. The new administration got in and it stopped without that bill.
Sir,
how that happened?
Sir,
don't talk around it. How that happened?
Indefinitely means until something changes, dude. It doesn't mean for fucking ever. And I already said,
why
sir,
did we need a bill,
sir,
if it happened?
There was already an executive order under Biden that again had the number of border encounters down to lower than the average under the Trump administration in his first term. So Biden had already done it by executive order. It just wasn't the way that we actually need to do it because it doesn't fix freaking the addition of Border Patrol agents. It doesn't fix our problem with the laws, and it doesn't fix our restrictions on asylum seeking, which we absolutely needed, and absolutely did not freaking reduce the amount of time that asylum seekers were in the country. But we did have executive action of the Biden administration, and that's why you saw a sharp reduction of entering in 2024. Okay. When the Trump administration came in, he also did executive action that essentially just completely shut down the border from all legal and undocumented immigration. So that's why you're seeing less encounters. Okay. Because now no one is even allowed to seek asylum. No one's allowed to come here for any reason at the southern border because the entire thing is shut down, whether you're legal or illegal. That does not count things like you said with gotaways, right? Because the numbers that we're talking about have nothing to do with gotaways. So we actually don't know the projected number of people that are actually sneaking around that border.
But if the bill that you're speaking about was so necessary to stop the encounters and the illegal crossings at the border, why did it stop when the new administration?
I literally just answered that question. I literally just sir. I literally just answered that fucking question in depth.
So we did not need the legislation.
Okay.
Correct?
Okay, sir. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, can you repeat back to me? Can you repeat back to me even 20?
Yes or no?
Sir, can you repeat back to me even 20% of what I just answered on that question?
You didn't answer that question.
Okay, cool. Just making
The
sure.
question's
All right.
simple. Yes or no, did we need that legislation?
To correctly fix the border, yes. To just stop encounters at the border, no.
It seemed to have happened without the legislation.
Correct.
You agree, right?
We stopped
Perfect.
encounters
You didn't
at the
need it.
border without the legislation. We didn't fix all of the root causes of that problem because we didn't have legislation.
Well, I don't know. It's like we're just talking past each other, man. Because
No. We're not talking past each
saying
other.
we needed
I'm
something
not
that we
even
obviously
talking to you
didn't
anymore
need.
because you're not even paying attention to the conversation. I'm talking to everybody else out there that is following along with this conversation and understands the fact that we did have a border problem, that the Biden administration did try to fix the border very quickly, that Donald Trump stopped him from being able to effectively and correctly fix the border issue.
We did not need the legislation.
We did need the legislation, sir. Sir, do you believe that everybody that shows up at the southern border that got in to seek asylum was able to seek asylum? Should be able to seek asylum?
I think the vast majority of them were. They were coached by the drug cartels on exactly what to say.
Awesome. That
They
law.
had put.
Awesome. That law under the Biden administration would have fixed that problem. Donald Trump's EO didn't. Do you believe? Do you believe, sir? Do you believe, sir? Do you believe asylum seekers, sir? The first Biden border bill was a week, 6 days after he took office. Let's make that very clear, okay? Second of all, do you believe asylum seekers that are let in the country and given court dates should be here for 5 or 6 years, or do you think they should be here for less than 6 months?
I think they should be here for 0 days.
0 days. So as little days as possible to find out whether they actually have a valid asylum claim. Cool. Biden's border bill would have fixed that. Donald Trump's EO does not.
Yeah. If it doesn't fix it, then why do we not have a border problem now?
Sir, we do have an immigration problem. We just don't have border encounters.
Exactly.
That doesn't fix the immigration issue.
We don't have an immigration.
We still have an immigration issue, sir. Sir, we still have, we still have asylum seekers in this country right now that are still going to be waiting for years in order to have their asylum case heard because of that.
No, hopefully not. It's
not hopefully not. It is still happening because he didn't fix the problem. EOs don't fix the problem. They're not laws. They cannot appropriate money. Okay, they cannot create funding. Okay, Donald Trump Band-Aid fixed it. Okay, after he stopped the permanent fix. Okay.
Well, there was parts of the new bill, the stupid bill they pushed through. There was parts of that gave a bunch of funding to help to fix the immigration problem as well.
Yes, they did. We could have had this a year and a half ago.
No.
Yes.
We couldn't have.
Yes, we could have.
The way that
because again, Biden's border bill, which again had 100% Republican support in the Senate.
No, it did not.
100%. It was written by a Republican.
A Republican and a Democrat.
No, it was written by a freaking tripartisan group of a Republican, Democrat, and an independent who was an immigration lawyer. But it was literally primarily head and written by a Republican, by Senator Lankford. Okay, it had 100% support in the Senate from Republicans and literally like 95% from Democrats. The Democrats there was actually Democrats that dissented from it because they thought it was too strict. And the only reason it did not pass is because Donald Trump called down to the Senate, told them not to pass it because he said if that bill was passed, then he could not say that Biden had a bad border and he wouldn't be able to run against Biden on it. He knew that the border bill would fix it. He knew that the border bill would fix it. He needed to be able to run against Biden on the border, so he let the border continue to be bad so that he could run off of it.
We've already came to the agreement that the bill did not get passed, right? And
thanks to Donald Trump.
The bill did not get passed.
Thanks to Donald Trump.
Thank you, Donald Trump, for that. Then.
Yeah, thanks to Donald Trump. Great. So now you're happy. So now you're happy that we didn't have better border protection under the Biden administration.
we didn't need new legislation.
Okay,
if we
sir.
did, it wouldn't
Well,
be fixed
sir,
now.
sir, I'm sorry. If you can't catch up to this conversation and understand why, sir, if you
are
can't,
saying we needed more legislation from the Democrats. And I'm saying we didn't. We already have a robust laws against people coming into our country illegally.
what does our asylum law say?
If somebody's like being persecuted in their country for like whatever religious beliefs or a couple other things, and they have a right.
You don't even
to
know. You're
come
saying we have
and request
robust laws, and you don't even know what our asylum law says.
I don't know how to. I don't know what words.
How are you going to tell me what? Okay, what is our what is our immigration law in this country?
What do you mean?
Under what title do we have immigration law in this country?
Yeah, we allow people that
Under
come
what
here
title
legally
do we have immigration law in this country?
Who cares what title? It
Because
is?
you're
What does
saying
that
it's
matter?
robust law, and I want to know if you know anything about the law.
We allow a certain groups of people to come here if they will provide contribute to our society. That is what it's supposed to be.
Wrong.
And
It's
people that are
Title
being
8.
persecuted.
Title 8 is what our immigration law is underneath. Okay.
So what?
And
What does that
again,
mean?
Title 8 was written in the 70s. Okay. It is not
The 70s
it
wasn't that
is
long ago.
not this robust law. It needs a lot of fucking work, and it needed a lot of fixes. Okay. And that legislation would have fixed 95% of it. Okay. You are so hung up on border encounters that you don't understand, okay, the entirety of our immigration problem. Border encounters is a very small piece of a very large immigration problem that we have in this country. Okay. And that bill, that immigration bill, okay, sought to fix the entirety, not the entirety, 95% of our immigration laws in this country. Okay. And you are hung up about border encounters, which I already agreed were bad, which I already agreed we had an immigration problem. I already agreed to that. Okay? I already agreed to that we had an immigration problem.
I'm not only hung up on that.
Yes, you are, because you don't know anything about anything else.
Yeah,
That is
we have
all
millions
you've
of
talked
people
about
in the country
this
illegally
entire
as well
time.
that need to leave.
Okay. Well, since you have no like ability to engage in this conversation with me, I'm going to move on to the next caller. All right. But I hope you have a good day, okay?
You have a good one too.
And maybe freaking read immigration law at some point. Anyways, Jay, thank you so much for the $10 over on Cash App. Thank you so much. Said he's defeated, struggling for his life. He did start repeating himself a bit. He did start to repeat himself for a bit there. Big W's the chat for Jay. Y'all, if you would like support through any of my pay links, I do have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all in my link tree. So make sure you follow the one in the link tree if you'd like support. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Jay. All right, we're going to move on to the next caller. I have a few super chats to hit before we continue on, and then we will keep this thing going. Daniel, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Said, I do not mean to come across as stupid. CIA spends a lot of money putting out information, things I was taught as a kid that are no longer true. Well, this is why we need to make sure that we are researching our facts, right? We need to know exactly what correct information is in this country, right? We don't just need to just say stuff, back things, buy things, stuff like that. But thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Daniel. I do really, really appreciate that. Lee said, why are MAGA so afraid of Mexicans? I don't know. They're also incredibly afraid of trans people. I don't know if you know that or not. Just insanely afraid. Just insanely afraid of trans people. It is wild. Shirley, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Said, thank you for your voice. Thank you so much for that, Shirley. I really, really appreciate that. Daniel again. Daniel said, maybe I got one for you. Under Trump, you must speak, read, and understand English to possess a CDL license, hopefully an airplane license too. Do you disagree? I do disagree. I do not believe that you need to be able to speak English in order to understand things like road signs. Okay? And plus, there's a lot of people in this country that are American citizens that English is not their first language, and being able to test in language that is your first language is important because we are a melting pot, because we do have lots of immigrants in this country, right? So, no, I do not agree with that whatsoever. And honestly, like, our trucking industry is hurting right now, so I think we need as many as many, people that can drive trucks and keep this economy rolling as we possibly can. Daniel also said, in your defense, Lindsey Graham said ICE can't go to South Carolina because it would shut down his state. I'm in Nebraska. We have the same problem. Our most productive towns are operated by illegals. Yeah, undocumented immigrants do a lot of work in this country. Oh, shoot. Check your sources. My bad. Sorry, Ari. Ari, if you're listening, can you bring me a Waterloo too? I really appreciate that. Our economy runs a lot on immigrants. We need immigrants in this country. It's very important. Okay? The Republicans know it. All right. I don't know why they're pretending like it doesn't. Republicans know it. Thank you so much, Daniel. Daniel also says, I don't know what that says. Thank you for the $5 super chats. But I don't know what that says. Daniel also says, only Mexicans and Canadians can file for asylum in America. That is not true. Our asylum law, and nor does international law, say anything about your country of origin or it being bordering the United States. That is very incorrect, Daniel. Daniel also said, our government doesn't work. People can get a vacation visa and just not go home. That is a problem. That actually is the number one source of undocumented immigration in this country and has been for a long time. Yeah, that actually is a problem. We do need to work on that. Matt, what's going on, Matt? Hey, this is Debates with Matt. Matt's a really cool guy and a really good debater and conversationalist over here on YouTube, on TikTok. So make sure you follow Matt. Matt's really awesome. Make sure you're checking out Matt. Thank you so much. Can you ask this guest to cope harder? I think I exhausted him at the end. I think he got done coping. He just kind of by the time he was done. But thanks a lot, Matt. I really appreciate that. Matt's really good people. Jen, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Said gas money for taking this caller to school. Was I driving the bus? I think I was driving the bus. Thank you so much, Jen, for the $10. I appreciate that so much. Taurus, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Make sure you guys send out W's for Taurus and an extra W in there if you got one of those gifted from Taurus. So thank you so much, Taurus. I really appreciate that. I love getting new members in there. Also, make sure you guys join the Discord. And if you're a member, make sure you put that in your Discord verification so I know to give you the correct roles. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Taurus. And Mystic also backing that up with another gifted. Big there's a chat for Mystic. I really appreciate that, Mystic. Thank you so much. Jake, thank you so much for the 30 jewels. I really appreciate that. DBZ said, hi, you are cool. Thank you. I am kind of cool, aren't I? Thank you so much, DBZ. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Summer said, thank you so much for the $5. Says Summer said, misinformation and class disorganization is the greatest threat to this nation. They are definitely two of them. There are definitely two of them that I can. Misinformation has become a really big problem, and our classism in the United States has become a super big issue, especially over the last 30 years. So I definitely agree. Thank you so much, Summer. I do appreciate that. Matt says, do you think soybean farmers will lose their jobs? Soybean farmers are already losing their jobs. We're already way late on that. That's been happening for a long time. That's been happening since Donald Trump's first administration, when the federal government had to bail out soybean farmers because they lost so much money due to Donald Trump's trade war. And Spencer said, hey, Paulie, I am a CDL semi-truck driver. Thank you so much for doing that. That is freaking really amazing. We truck drivers in this country are the lifeblood. I truly do believe that. Said, we are hurting, yes, but not the way it's portrayed. We have parking issues and predatory leasing and brokerage issues and pay issues as well. You notice how he did not mention immigration as a problem for that. Ari, come here and bring me a bubbly water, please. You notice how this CDL driver did not mention, hold on, did not mention immigration as a problem with trucking. Just crazy. Big W to chat for Spencer. Thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate that. All right, come here. Give a mod announcement or something while I go to the bathroom real quick. Come on, let's go. I'm gonna put Ari on the mic for 2 seconds while she's gonna have a quick cameo while I go use the restroom real quick.
Yeah, ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Just kidding. Guys, why are you still here? I'm also just kidding. Hi guys. If y'all want to find me, my name is Mermaid Ari on all the apps. Mermaid Ari 0 on all of the other ones. Sorry. On Twitch and YouTube. Hey, I like that gif. That was cute. Guys, if you're still here and you're still supporting Polly, then blow it up. Guys, hit that subscribe button on all the platforms. Hit that follow button on all the platforms. For the idiot in the comments that I muted in TikTok, let me be clear. Title 42 is a national health emergency specific law. It is not available at quote any time. You're stupid and you don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you, Ari. I appreciate the PSA. Are you gonna be on later on tonight? Ari will be on later, like she said. Ari, Mermaid Ari 0. Follow her. She does some great stuff over here too. So if you like this live, you'll definitely like her lives also. So W's in the chat for Ari for coming in and relieving me for a second. I've been going for almost 3 hours, so had to take a second. Sorry about that. All right. I've been on for almost 3 hours. Oh my goodness. Guys, you know what? We're gonna keep this thing going for a little bit. I'm enjoying myself. So we're gonna keep this thing going for a little bit. Y'all on TikTok, let's get this thing up to 300,000. Like, let's keep that thing moving. Y'all, thank you so much for the super chats. For the gifteds, all that sort of stuff. Thank you so much. We're gonna see if we can keep this thing going and yeah, let's keep having some fun over here, right? Let's open up these phone lines and keep going. How do you find her? She's right there. Yeah, she's in the chat right there. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 50.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes and no, depends on the issue.
All right. Well, what issue do you support him on?
Well, so I was on here a second ago, or I've been watching you for a minute, and you were talking to the gentleman about the border bill. You're talking about the Lankford bill, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That bill, are you talking about the bill that was written in May of 2024? Is that the Lankford bill you're talking about?
No, it was written in December of 2023. I think it hit the floor on January of 2024, I believe. July of 20. Ari's telling me July of 2023. Yeah.
That bill doesn't have anything to do with the main border bill that you talk about is 4361, which was authored by Murphy and Christopher. That's the bill that everybody talks about that allowed more border patrol agents, more judges, all these things.
No, the Lankford bill did also.
Lankford bill does do that to an extent, but not the same as the 4361. And that's the main bill. Is 4361. That is the bipartisan border bill that was written in May of 2020.
Yeah, there was 3 different border bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both of them added judges and all that sort of stuff.
The Lankford bill was a little different. It was not a bipartisan bill. That was written completely by Lankford and only by Lankford. Lankford and James, which was both Republicans.
It's not Langford and James. It's James Lankford.
James, excuse me.
That's his first name, and that's not correct. The Lankford bill was written on a well, I say it was almost tripartisan. It was an independent, a Republican, and a Democrat.
But again, that's not the bill that everybody considers to be the bipartisan bill. Bipartisan bill is 4361.
Yeah. So again, and Ari just threw it in the chat. You had 2278 and 4361 were the exact same bill. One was the first time it was attempted, and then it was stopped by Trump, and then they said it was because of a separation of removing the Ukraine and Israel funding, and so they re-separated out the bills into 3 different bills, and then the second one is the exact same bill that was just. You
talking about 4361 where they separated out everything?
Yeah, but it's the same bill.
Yeah, it was separated out into different bills. Yes, and I
Yeah,
think
but
that
but the immigration, the meat of the
still-
immigration bill was the exact same bill.
okay. Well, whenever you tell people, make sure you tell them the proper Senate number so they understand.
I didn't
which
tell
bill,
them
'cause
any
again,
number.
You did or didn't?
I did not.
Okay. From now on, please do that. This way they know which bill to look up so they know which one is which. Because most people consider the bipartisan border bill to be 4361, not 1444, which is the Langford deal.
Sir, with all due respect, most of the people that I talk to about this immigration bill have no idea of any of the numbers that you're saying.
Well, but do you not understand my point by telling them this way they can look it up and they can go, oh, okay, this is what the bill says.
All right.
Because these bills have multiple pages. Well, this one has.
Yes, this is a
two
very,
pages.
very long bill, but again, and I have it, I'm on congress.gov right here. And again, the bills are the same.
Same thing. No, they're not exactly the same. They're different, but they're not exactly the same.
I'm actually pretty
But
sure
anyway,
Senator Murphy was the one who wrote the Langford bill, who was the Democrat that wrote the Langford bill with him in friggin' 2023, if I remember correctly.
I don't see Murphy's name on here.
I do. It's right
As far
here
as on 1444.
on 4361.
Okay, that's 4361. But on the Langford bill, I don't see his name.
Right, because it only
on
has
his-
one, but they all wrote it together. Again, it was tripartisan, and it was Senator Murphy, Senator Langford, and I don't remember what the independent's name was.
I don't either.
But I just remember that it was the immigration law. It was the immigration lawyer.
Because I'm on Congress.gov as well.
Was it Cinema?
Who's that?
Might have been Cinema. Kristen Cinema.
I don't know.
The Independent.
That I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
So, anyways,
but
I don't
anyway,
understand what we're arguing about here. To be honest, not arguing, but like I don't know what we're even like having a conversation about here.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying if you're going to tell people about a bill, at least give them the proper information. This way they can look it up and they can be informed.
Sir.
Oh, okay. This is the
Sir,
Langford deal.
They can look
This
at
is
either of
valid.
those two bills. It's the same bill. They can look up either or both. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything.
I mean, the bills are completely different.
They are not.
But that's okay. Sure, they're not different, but they're completely different as far as the way you look at them. So, anyway, have a great day. Enjoy your
As far
Saturday,
as the
sir.
way I look at them? All right. Let me see. Hold on.
It's insane.
Also feel and take on a pilot program. Anyways, I don't have time to go through the whole bills, but we'll keep this thing going. Really appreciate it. Jen, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Said you and Ari are both amazing and such a gorgeous couple. Oh, thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Big news in the chat for Jen, just for being so sweet. Thank you so much. And Daniel again said, Nebraska funds its single moms by adding it to the farm bill. Every item should be voted on its own merit. Well, I do agree that bills should be voted on merit. Unfortunately, that's not how we do things in this country. They vote just off partisanship. If we voted on merit, we would actually have a lot better country, and the big beautiful bill wouldn't have passed. Of course, Republicans would have had to have actually read the bill in order to know whether they could pass it on merit or not. Anyways, phone lines are back up, and we're going to keep this thing going. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And thank you, Ari, for actually sending me all those bills and stuff like that. I believe the 1444 was the one that was like the Biden's like original border bill, the one that like I always say like started like was put in place like 6 days after he took office. I'm pretty sure that's the same one, if I'm correct. Who's this person? Let's bring up this person. Hello? 1177 was the first bill. My bad. All right, this dude's getting in his car. All right, we're gonna keep the phone lines open for a second, see if anybody calls in. Oh, and there they are. 1177 was the first one. I forget. I'm not great with bill name numbers. That's why I keep Ari around. She'll
It's insane.
she'll keep me in check with bill numbers. I'll forget those all day. Hello, how are you? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you, sir?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
38.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Kinda. After the Epstein thing and told everybody to basically, get lost, no, I had to pull my support.
So him being like best friends with Epstein wasn't a killer, but like him not releasing the files, that's where you draw the line?
No, I think him being best friends with it really was a line drawn in the sand.
But he's
I
been
don't
best
think
friends with him
he's
for
recovered for it.
decades.
What's that?
They were friends together like forever.
I'm not denying that.
Oh, okay.
And also, I would love to see the Republicans, and I would like to see justice across the board. But the reason I was calling actually is I think that a uniting force between Republicans and Democrats, or what most people can get behind, is healthcare in this country is a monstrosity.
I think if we could get behind that, we would have already fixed it. But unfortunately, the Republicans don't seem to want to fix it.
No, nobody does. And it's
the Democrats definitely do.
I mean, I think that there is a very good argument for socializing medicine in this country, that the insurance companies are widely subsidized by the government. If there's already huge swaths of the population, mainly on Medicare, and not so much of the population on Medicaid, then I don't understand why everybody else, taxpayers, are then having to fund private medicine through insurance companies. It drives me crazy. That's just one I wanted to call about. I watch you and I enjoy your show. And yeah, that's my bet.
Thank you. I agree with you. Also, this is literally what like AOC and Bernie Sanders have been saying like forever, and everybody just calls them, all the Republicans just call them socialists.
Well, I mean, I'm willing to socialize medicine completely because what happens
because
is
it should be
insurance companies. Yes.
But the Democrats are saying that they should, and the Republicans are blocking it at every step of the way.
Yeah, it's insane to me.
Well,
and it's just, I think it's about money. I mean, it really is that through and through. Like, it's just, it's wild. It is just absolutely wild. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, man. Well, I hope you have a good one.
All right, you too.
All right, man. Bye. Yeah, I mean, I'm look, dude. I got tons of complaints about the Democrats. Tons. Okay.
It's insane.
Feels like the healthcare thing is kind of their thing. Just being honest. Like, just saying. Daniel said, Affordable Care Act, nobody read it? I mean, I encourage everybody to go read it. I think it's important. Daniel said, Trump wanted to run as a Democrat, but Hillary wouldn't let him. I'll never forget that. Seen it with my own eyes. You can't say it's not true. Bro, this whole like Hillary is like in control of everything. He could have ran as a Democrat all he wanted. He just would have had to run against Hillary. Nobody read it. Got it. Read it. Yes, you're right. Most people don't read policy. Trump ran under the Reform Party. Trump said a long time ago if he ever ran, he would run as a Republican. Yeah, because he thinks Republicans are stupid. He just said, smart people don't like me. He literally, didn't he just say that? Didn't he just say smart people don't like me? And people are like, I'm not smart. I like him. Like, y'all wild, dude. Like the freaking like the masochism must just be like wild, dude, to just be like, yay. Thank you. Thanks, Daniel. Spencer said, hey, Pod, question. Do you find it hypocritical of MAGA that they are dead set on fully eliminating DEI because they are worried about qualifications, yet nobody in his cabinet is qualified. I find that very strange. See, they want DEI. They just only want it for white Christian males. They want they want to be able to just put people in spots just because they're white Christian males. They don't want to be able to do that for anybody else. Okay? That's how that works. I'm pretty sure. Am I MAGA-ing right? Am I doing MAGA right? Am I doing MAGA right? I'm not sure. I can't keep up. Yes, unqualified white men and Kash Patel. You're all right. Unqualified white men and also Kash Patel. Bro is freaking. Kash Patel's freaking wild. Bro, how is that dude? How is that a thing? That dude as well. All right, I'm gonna open the phone lines. Keep this thing going. Dude, Kash Patel. Phone lines are back open if anybody wants to talk. But
it's insane,
dude. That Ari showed me that Josh Johnson on the Daily Show Kash Patel thing. I was fucking crying. FBI balls, dude. FBI balls is wild, dude. I have a video up about Kash Patel too. If you guys have, I didn't know Lens Crafters had a big and tall store, bro. He was clowning them, dude. I didn't know. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I'm 21 years old.
Awesome. Do you support Trump still?
I do.
Awesome. Why is that?
Well, it's not more or less the moral of Trump. It's more of the supporters, the conservatives that were under him, such as the recent passing. I know people don't realize the views he may have or the debates that he ran. But if you've seen the moral ability he had, he never said anything against race, nor did he say the moral ability that any color mattered. It was more of the excellence of the country and who was more qualified.
He's literally on
Nothing to do with
camera
race.
calling racial slurs to Asian people and everything else. What are you talking about?
Racial slurs to Asian people?
And all sorts of other people, dude. What are you talking about?
I guess y'all haven't seen the multiple millions of views of videos, even the one that he had into the political debates he's had, to where he said, and he's also mentioned, he's never done anything on the inequality of race.
Yeah. And I have never done anything wrong in my entire life. I am actually perfect. And I'm saying this on this live. Ooh. And I am saying it on this live with, hundreds of thousands of views. I'm saying it on this video. I am perfect. And I have never made a mistake ever. So that solves that.
You said that you have never made a mistake.
Nope. I am actually perfect.
You are actually perfect.
Yeah, and I've said it on this video, so it makes it true.
So it makes it true. What has happened to the mindset of the American people is not understanding the moral ability of everybody matters, not just the fact that you're perfect. Everybody makes mistakes.
Oh, I completely disagree.
There's not a person.
I don't think everybody matters.
That is absolutely perfect.
Well, but I'm saying it on this video, and according to your theory, if Charlie Kirk said he said it on a video, and that video has views, then therefore it is true.
No, not on a video. It was on multiple different occasions that he has outspoken that
Gotcha.
he is
So
not
on
a racist person. He is not a Nazi. He is nothing like that. He wants everybody to be on excellence, not the fact that somebody gets more of a certain.
Sir. Yeah, I'm not doing this with you. Okay? The man is gone.
Because you
okay.
believe you're perfect.
Shh. The man is gone.
It shows
okay.
that you're not perfect.
Hey. Last chance. Be quiet. Okay? I've seen what Charlie Kirk said. Okay? And I very, very much disagree with it. And you claiming that just because he claims something else doesn't change that. Okay? Because I've seen the things that he's said and the things that he claims and the stances that he makes. Hell, I could even say, like, to a certain point, okay? And I've said this on this live. People like Charlie Kirk who, debate from these stances that were very, they object to very strongly, stances that are very, racist and sexist and stuff like that, are a large reason why I do what I do. Okay, is to be able to debate against people like that. Okay, but if we're just going to ignore everything the man said, okay, then really that is truly dishonoring this man, even if you support him. If we're just going to ignore the bad things that he said, okay, in order to implement it, and able to say that he said good things, that's not right. That's not right at all. He made a living off of having open debate, okay, usually with undergrads that didn't know what they were talking about, but open debate about things. And he said some really bad stuff in those things that I disagree with. Do I believe that he has the right to say them? Yes, I do. Do I believe that he should have, that he should have been killed for that? Absolutely not. I don't support that at all. But we're not just going to ignore what the man says. All right. Like, let's not be disrespectful.
Yes, sir. Completely understand what you're saying. We're not ignoring anything that is being said. It's more of a lot of people are making it, trying to justify the killing.
No, I am not doing that. So if you're having that argument with me, don't even try. Because I am very, very adamant when I say that I do not support this type of violence in any way, shape, or form. Okay. And that he did not deserve to die for debates that he had. I do not believe that in any way, shape, and form. Okay. So if you want to go have that argument with somebody else, you can, but I'm not the one.
Never said you were. It's the fact that there's a lot of things that you're just saying that he said bad, and you want to ignore the bad, but there's plenty of good that he said and he's tried to do, and not just for the white community.
Well, I'm not here, sir. I'm not here to have an argument about the morality behind Charlie Kirk. So if that's what you're pointing to this, I'm not doing it.
You just spoke about the white community saying that the DE.
All right, we're going to move on to the next caller. Apparently, you're not understanding what I'm saying. All right. I am not going to sit here and argue the morality of Charlie Kirk. I will argue the morality. I will talk about the morality of what was done to him, because I think that that's morally reprehensible and disgusting. All right. But we're not going to re-debate all of his debates, especially when you start talking about white people and stuff. I don't actually think the white community, I don't think you're being very honest. I don't think you're being very honest. So that's my opinion. just my opinion. Plus, that conversation can get kind of off track, and then things happen. Daniel, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said Pam Bondi let Epstein go in the 90s. I'm pretty sure lots of people let Epstein go in the 90s. It's pretty bad. All right, we are starting to slow down a little bit. That color didn't help at all. I was going to try to go for one more, but I think maybe...
It's insane!
We'll see. I'll give it a second, see if we get one more. Daniel said, do you think masculinity is toxic? I believe masculinity can be toxic. Did anyone else lose audio? Uh-oh. Mic keeps cutting out? You guys hear me okay? Check, check. Sorry, some people are saying that my mic is cutting in and out. Okay, think we're good? What I was saying is masculinity can be toxic. Masculinity isn't always toxic. Masculinity can, however, be toxic. Hello?
Hi. Oh, I didn't know I was going to get straight through.
Yeah, you caught kind of the slow part of the live. I don't think the algorithms are used to me being on this long. They're getting confused.
Okay.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 55.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
So What I wanted, the position that I wanted to espouse and get your feedback on is I don't believe that Trump is a Republican. I was a registered Republican for 38 years, and I don't believe he's a Republican.
I mean, he is currently the head of the Republican Party, so he is a Republican. If you mean, does he fit traditional conservative values that the Republican Party used to abide by? No, he does not.
Correct. And I think that MAGA is, by all definitions, a cult. Trump is a cult of personality. And I think that when Democrats point, well, it's Democrats against Republicans, I think they're missing the bullseye. Because a lot of traditional Republicans, like myself, do not fall into the MAGA camp. It's not Democrats versus Republicans. I think that it is against an actual, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, but in a factual way, it's an actual cult. And when you look at past cults, People's Temple with Jim Jones, or the Manson family, or you look at some of the cults that we've had, it's not about facts. And it's about feelings and following the cult leader and believing what the cult leader says. Trump can make up whatever, and it doesn't matter how many sources we have. They don't want to listen to it because they're following the leader.
Well, yeah, not only that too, but it's a matter of him, just like a cult would do, right? Just, trying to isolate his people, right? It's everything that everybody else tells you is bad. Everything that I tell you is correct, right? Let's not look at facts. Let's not look at data. Let's not look at anything else, right?
Right.
If I tell you it is correct, oh, does the Defense Department come out and say that the bombing of Iran didn't actually destroy everything? Well, I'm telling you they're wrong, and I'm telling you I'm right. Does the Bureau of Labor Statistics come out and say my job numbers are bad?
Insane.
Job numbers are bad. Oh, well, they're saying their job numbers are bad. Well, I'm telling you they're not bad. I'm telling you your grocery prices are going down, even though we can go to the grocery store and see them going up, right? It's that isolation around that thing, which is actually really what I think makes it very cultish behavior. So I agree with you.
Well, and I think that one of the biggest things that actually worries me about our country is if you actually look at cult mentality, once a cult gets, one of the main tenets is isolation and separation as a special group, which is why Jim Jones, once the People's Temple hit 900 people, he had to get them out of the country because they isolate from family, they isolate from friends. It's a very abusive, it's just like an abusive spouse that isolates and controls. And the problem is if somebody was in the People's Temple with Jim Jones, they have friends, they have family that care about them, that's trying to convince them and get them out, and they're not seeing them as a bad person and to deprogram it. The thing is that if a MAGA person even questions what's going on, we still have millions and millions and millions of Americans that look at that previous MAGA person and ostracizes them and slams them and actually pushes them further into the cult. And I think that approaching this, I am old enough that I remember when politics were able to be talked about because it wasn't personal. It was everybody wanted the country to go to the same place, successful,
You don't
wealthy.
have to be that old for that.
Well,
I'm
we're
38.
now
I'm
at a
38
place-
years old, and I remember that.
Well,
It's not that long ago that we were like this, right? Like when Obama ran against McCain, we weren't like those.
Oh, absolutely not.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
the thing
Like,
is that it's become personal.
well,
It's
everything has
become
become
an us versus them.
Yeah, everything has become us versus them. But that's what happens. Like when you have like this is what happens when you put the wrong people in. So going back to your original thing, like I said, like you say you don't believe Donald Trump is a Republican. I agree. I don't believe that true Republicans, I don't believe that true conservatives should support Trump, right? And I get it. I think even a lot of people at this point understand that, but also, they bought a lot of hats and flags and stuff like that, so they can't really return those.
Part of
But
the cult.
but yeah, they're just part of the cult, and hopefully we can get them away from it. I'm just hoping that the cult doesn't get too far into the weeds. But hey, I am gonna move on, like I said, because I am looking for some
Okay.
Trump supporters right now. But I do appreciate you. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Bye. I don't know why people, there's certain only people in my one live are saying, some people in one of my lives are saying that my audio is cutting in and out. And everybody else is saying it's fine. Unlike every other platform. Even on the same platform, on a different, on the landscape live, everyone's saying it's fine. So it's not my microphone, because if it was my microphone, it'd be going across on everybody. So, I don't really know what's going on there. Just this the portrait live on YouTube is saying that it's that it's bad, but everybody else is just showing fine, I think. Yeah, and even people in there are saying the audio is good. Yeah. Anyways, no, there was somebody in there that I trust that wasn't fucking with me. They're being called liars everywhere they go. Who's being called liars? I don't know who there is. I don't know who they are is. But thank you, Stars. I really appreciate that. And Daniel says, so femininity. Maybe it's time for me to get offline. So femininity. Why can't I say that word right now? Can be toxic by your standard? Can be, sure. Sure, it can be. It's just not the issue that we have in the United States. The problem that we have is toxic masculinity in the United States. That's the issue that we have, right? So we talk about the issues. Say it 5 times fast. I can't say it once slowly. What do you say it 5 times? I literally can't say it 1 time slowly. Femininity. 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 I had to sound it out. Oh my goodness. I didn't ask you. Wait, how do you say it? No, actually, I am asking you. How do you say it? Ari's pronouncing it.
It's insane.
Yeah, this is like I. Femininity. 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 Feminine. Just I can't hear you from downstairs. Femininity. I think that's close, right? Someone said yes. Femininity. Femininity.
It's insane.
What? A what?
Femininity.
What? It sounds like you're putting an extra M in there.
Femininity.
Femininity? No, that's not right. That's not. There's no M there. Femininity.
Femininity.
No, femininity. There's no.
Feminine.
Femininity. Femininity.
Femininity.
No. I'm fucking up everybody else. Now nobody else in here is gonna be able to say it now. I'm literally fucking it up so bad. Femininity. 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 They're sounding it out for me. Femininity. Femininity. Femininity.
Yeah, femininity.
No, you're putting another M in there. She's fucking me up. I shouldn't have brought her up. She's fucking it up worse for me. She's freaking.
Femininity. I'm saying it right. You're hearing it wrong.
No, you're putting an extra M in there. I can hear it.
Femininity.
No, I'm not adding an extra M. She's adding another M.
I'm not adding an M. It's an N.
See, and now all of you guys are putting in different pronunciations.
Femininity.
Femininity.
Yeah, there you go.
Femininity. That doesn't sound. That sounds wrong. I don't believe you. She's wrong. I know she's right, okay? That's why I called her to come up here. I'm joking. Of course she's right. She's usually right. I need one of those like say this. Kamala's book, she mentions how the staff under Biden threw her under the West Wing, wasn't happy about a speech, and Dems did not want her on the ticket. None of that really surprised me. I actually can't wait to read that book. I haven't been so excited to read a book in a long time, but I really do want to read Kamala Harris's book. I really hope I get the time. I really do hope I get the time. Yes, Tenora, thank you so much. Yeah, I really hope the book. If you guys, have any of you guys got a chance to read the book? I really want to read it. I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and read a book, but I want to read this. I have heard stuff about it. I heard she trashes Biden like real bad, and I'm kind of Is it out? I don't think it's out. I think it's just in pre-release for like certain people. I don't think it's out publicly yet. Maybe I'm wrong, but I definitely want to read it. This is when I should be like flexing like a creator thing. Like, send me the book so I can review it. It's sold out on Amazon. Of course it is. I'm sure they have it electronic. I'll get it on my iPad. I'll get it through Kindle or something. And also it says, Daniel says, I'm 42, you're 38. You remember Halo and COD lobbies before women took... Bro, what are you talking about, dude? I was still playing COD like a year ago. Or a year and a half ago. And they're still freaking the Wild West. They're still crazy. And what are you talking about? Women are in there freaking being crazy as fuck too. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? That's super sexist. That was super sexist. Freaking... You think women can't be pieces of shit in a COD lobby also? Because they can. All right. Women can also be pieces of shit in a COD lobby. Super sexist. US will control TikTok's algorithm under deal, White House says. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Y'all, if you guys are on my TikTok, make sure you guys follow me on Twitch or on YouTube. Because I don't know what the future of TikTok and this whole algorithm thing is going to be. I know we're kind of at the low part, but make sure you're following me on other platforms, because I don't know what's going to happen with this whole TikTok sale and Trump's cronies getting the algorithms and all that sort of stuff. So please make sure you're following me everywhere else too. Okay? Please make sure you do, because I'm not going anywhere, but I might be leaving
It's insane.
Yeah. Also, YouTube's a good time. Especially if you like watching me like on your TV or something. You can fit the landscape live out. You can just see so much more. It's awesome. All right. Anyways, I've been on for like 3.5 hours, which is much longer than I expected to be on today. So I'm going to get off and go get some lunch. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. All right. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Actually, no, we're going to wait, because TikTok has 5 more thousand to hit 300,000. I want you guys to hit that first. Then we're going to end this. We're gonna end this right as soon as you hit 300,000, and I get my tiny reading Diney. Then I'll end it. We're gonna do that real quick since we're so close. Anyways, for everybody else on YouTube, y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate that. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I will be back on tomorrow around 10 a.m., maybe a little earlier, Central Time, before football tomorrow. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here. Love y'all. Thank you guys so much. Swearing. Thank you so much for the tiny reading, Diney. And thank you guys so much for hitting that 300,000. That makes me happy. Thank you so much. All right. Love you guys. Have a wonderful